history was always one of the most boring subjects in school. Nobody cared about it. But they told us their history. They didn't tell us the right history what we needed to know. During the 1500s Renaissance, during that time, that's why they say the Dark Ages. A lot of people don't know about that because the Dark Ages, because we used to roam. We ruled in Europe. We ruled all
the Moors.
Yes, exactly, the Moors.
So the Moors, are they from Shem?
Yes. The Moors are us. The Moors are us.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
They're black people. We were all over the world. History is very, very important. So like I always say, we go back in history and can point to these origins and go back to it and actually have a definition of what's going on. Then you get to the truth of things and you can't cut it. Lies can't get in between that anymore. But this is like a lot of information that our people are missing. Like I said, they need self-identity. They need laws. We don't have any laws in our structure. It's all hate in our neighborhoods, but it's all written right here. But we don't read or make the connections. But we are today on Fully Connected.
Hey, there we go. Fully Connected. All right, welcome back to the Fully Connected podcast. This is episode 3. We got Brandon Kendall here today, ladies and gentlemen, man. Brandon Kendall is the owner of Hotshot Cleaning Company, and he's a father as well. So, Brandon, go ahead and tell us a little bit what made you decide to start your own business.
Man, appreciate it. Like I said, thanks again for having me.
Yeah.
That you're doing this, Fully Connected. Like, I've been watching you for a while.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And I'm very proud of you doing your thing, man. But let's see, what got me into this, I've always wanted to be my own boss, you know?
Yeah,
I've always wanted to have that freedom to be able to go when and where I want and just be able to make X amount of dollars. I didn't want anybody putting a price tag on me, saying you're worth this much. Like, my work is past that. Yeah. Like, you know, I can be making $16 an hour, but I go work, put in 20% more effort in that day, I still make $16 an hour. You see what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Still make the same amount. So like, I want to put in and get what I get out. So X amount of dollars, like I said, I can make $100 one day, $10 one day, $1,000 one day.
Absolutely.
Like, so I want to have that, but I also want to have that freedom and just to be able to make the moves. And to be able, not just to be able to, like I said, be in charge, but I don't want anybody telling me my worth or my value.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So what is it like, what did it take for you to start your own business? And like, obviously that was what inspired you, but what does it take to be able to run it and everything like that?
Well, I believe to run it, starting it, you have to get everything, all your ducks in order. You also, you got to have a plan. You guys want a vision and have goals. So you want to have short-term, long-term goals. You want to short-term goals. You want to have a plan at short-term, whatever you need to get, however much money you need to capital you want to start. Make sure you grab that. If not, then long-term goals of like, okay, where do you want to have that business going from for a year, for 2?
Right.
But to keep it and going, you have to have a lot of discipline.
Man,
discipline is key. It's key to having your own business, to being your owner, because there's nobody there, like we said, working for somebody else, telling you, hey, you need to be here at 8 o'clock, you need to be here at 8:39. Putting something, making you accountable, you know, putting the heat up under you, hey, making a point system. If you're not here, you're going to get fired, you know? Like, you have to get up and you have to want it. You have to get it. You have to grind. You have to be disciplined. You have to be consistent in that discipline, too.
Man, so consistency and discipline, let's talk a little bit more about, like, what helps you to stay disciplined?
What helps me to stay disciplined, like you said, well, I am a father as well. But also just staying disciplined. It just, if I mess up, if I fall, it all falls. You know, like you take out Jenga. I feel like I'm that Jenga block. If I ain't disciplined, take it out, crumbles. Like, it crumbles. But
definitely.
But
obviously, that you're disciplined, you're gonna be pretty much keeping the structure. Because, like you said, if you're that Jenga piece. If you don't show up to work, then it's kind of like you don't get paid. But also too, like, your girl helps out as well, like so you guys did it together, like so I know that's a big help too.
Oh, big help. Like, she keeps me on the straight and narrow. She always has.
Shouts out to Steph.
Man, shouts out to Steph, bro. Shouts out to Steph. Man. That's why we always call ourselves Iron Man and Pepper, because you know Iron Man, he couldn't do a lot of stuff without Pepper. You gotta go back and watch the movies. Go back and watch Marvel. See, hey, Iron Man. And you always look, man, a lot of men, they do great things, but it's always a woman that's behind that man doing great things a lot of the times. Right. So like I said, she helps fill in all the gaps, all the creases. She does a lot of things to help keep me disciplined on that straight and narrow, you know. Like I said, we came together and just boom. Like Iron Man and Pepper. Iron Man and Pepper, baby.
So the Iron Man. So Iron Man's your favorite character then?
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I like a lot of Marvels. Like, I just like a lot of things that he represents. He represents intellects, he represents genius, leadership. You know, like I also says, he has Pepper there. So they make a tremendous team to make a business that works. It's well fluid.
What about Mary Jane and Peter?
I love Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. And I see a lot of Spider-Man inside of me too, because I'm still that animated kid, but at the same time with discipline, like a little bit more, bit more maturity. But at the same time, I'm still that young teenage kid, like Michelangelo, like Ninja Turtle, Spider-Man, Parker, like still loving my Mary Jane.
Hey, Mary Jane, definitely. I remember you told me, it was like last week, or I think it was this week, you said something about how you just kind of are detaching yourself from like even like watching like sports, football, basketball. And I was just really surprised because I know you're always, you know everything about sports and you're always following it, but like maybe share with the people listening, like what inspired you to start to kind of detach from the world as far as like media?
Well, it's a really big distraction. It's always been a distraction in my life. And I put so much time into it,
Yeah.
And like where you put your time is where your heart is at. And you want to put your time into something constructive, something that's going to build you. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with watching sports. You can watch sports here and there, but when it comes to the fact you're watching every night, you're trying to see who's playing, you're following who's averaging this much points, what draft pick he is. Like, the next college player is like, it's a little much.
Yeah.
And then it takes away time from you could be doing, like I said, something else constructive. But as far as me and like our people, we have so many distractions in this world.
Right.
When it comes from social media, it comes to sports, when it comes to recreational drugs, when it comes to women, when it comes to anything.
Man,
like, and the less distractions we have, like the more noise we can turn down and actually listen to the universe and everything is more around us. We can be more in tune with ourselves.
What do you think somebody's going to hear if they decided just to like turn off all the distractions? Like what would they hear?
You would hear yourself. Person is sound. You're gonna hear yourself. You're gonna be able to like shut off like I said, friends, everything around you. You can be able to think clearly. When you have all these distractions around you, you're getting pulled from all these different avenues and all these different vices. Right. So it's like you have the pollution of social media, you have the pollution of sports, you have the pollution of this. Your mind is so trapped in these things, it can't free up for anything else.
It's like too much storage space.
It's too much storage space. And you gotta delete, you gotta drop, you gotta uninstall, you gotta uninstall.
Man, and people don't want to uninstall those programs. They don't want to uninstall the ESPN app, literally.
And like you said, like they don't want to install those programs because they're programmed. You gotta stop being so programmed. We're programmed to do this. Like I was saying, like with sports, I'm programmed to look at who's 7 o'clock. Oh man, somebody's playing tonight. Like it's sports on every night just about. And you go back and ask some of the old heads, they didn't have TV, they didn't have sports on every single night. They would have to wait till the weekend to get it. Some TVs, they would cut off at 12 o'clock. You would get static. Our TVs go all night.
Man, that's crazy.
If you want somebody just to plug your brain with endless stuff. You want sports, you can get it all night. They'll rerun Sports Center, play it over 3 times. It's just like replay a game that happened earlier, like you watching the same stuff over and over and over again because you're programmed. But when TV back then, like I said, they couldn't watch sports every night.
What do you think the objective is if they're trying to program us? Like why are they trying to program us to be distracted?
Well, because they want us distracted from the truth, and that's a way of form of control. So if we can program you that way, we can control you, we can manipulate you. Because if we can program and control you, just do this, we can program and control you to do anything else.
It's crazy.
We say it's a whole pandemic. Go take the solution.
Okay.
We got you. We can program.
So you didn't take the jab. You didn't get the jab.
No sir.
Yeah.
Live
because you had your own business
breathe.
As well, so you didn't need to.
Another reason why I didn't to.
Since we have our own business, because the crazy thing is like we started our own business like literally like right 2020, right? You were like, was it January for you?
Yes, sir.
And then April for me. So it's like we literally like were free right when everything kind of was falling. So it was like, in a sense, I kind of had a little survivor guilt. Because like seeing like so many people struggle, I was like, man, like we were doing well. But yeah, man, how did that feel? Like right during the pandemic, like you just had your own spot. I mean, your own business.
Man, it was just like a lot of people telling you not to do it at that time, and just a lot of stuff closing down, a lot of like things happening, but you have to go out on faith. Like I said, and I have a lot of faith and just backed up into what I believe in, and just I knew it was right. Like I said, I took a leap of faith because I had to stop working for my job that I was to fully put myself in there.
Right.
Because I would go around and get the contracts, get them scheduled up. And at that time, Stephanie wasn't working, so she was just a stay-at-home wife, just stay at home.
Stay at home.
So I would work and, provide everything that we needed, but I wanted to go this direction. And so to go this direction, it was a blessing that she was able to have the free time so she could go start working some of those while I was at my other job, still getting the contracts together. But then I was like, okay, now this is kind of rolling. I can take that faith and jump out. Not even knowing still like, hey, this is gonna happen. We're gonna have enough money for bills. We got enough money for this. But you take that leap of faith and get out there, even with COVID or not. And like I said, like you already know, like the most successful people in this world are the ones who take risks, and you have to take risks to do anything. Right. You can't just be in a circle of comfort. You're gonna go nowhere. You're gonna be, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over.
Right, being stagnant, pretty much.
Being stagnant, and a lot of people love to be stagnant, love to be in that comfort zone because of distractions and being comfortable.
It's crazy because the word distraction has the word traction in it, and like traction kind of means to like pull, like how you were saying earlier. So it's like pulling. It's like we have so many people that it's like this attention economy. Everybody's trying to pull, our attention, so you can easily give into, ESPN or pornography. Name video games, because it used to be only games too. So you cut off video games kind of too, or you still play a little bit?
I still play a little bit of video games. I play Madden. That's probably my shit. Because like I said, I love football, I love sports. So if that's the one, then like I do. It's like it's a good release, a good pastime.
You playing with Bud and everybody?
Yeah, playing with Bud, Ryan, Matt, a couple of fans. I used to be in a couple big Madden leagues. It was really fun, and you're playing with 20 plus people. Man, that's really fun. But then time restraints, can't do it like that much. And like I was telling you, going back to that balance. So now I got to have balance in playing the video games. And I rather, like I said, when I need to release or do something else, free my mind, I'll just jump on the video game at night or some weekend. It's kind of fun. But now I would rather read, I'd rather just read books and study, because like that's where the real knowledge is. Like I said, like our people rather pick up a phone, scroll, pick up a phone pornography, pick up TV, video games, ESPN, like. But we don't pick up anything.
Well, we ain't
picking up no books.
You said people get on Facebook when they put their face in a book.
In a book. A real book. Not a digital screen. Like, get in some books. That's what they're acknowledging.
When do you think, like, when did it happen when people started just to kind of be so distracted? Or do you think people have always been distracted and now we just have more ways to be distracted? Or what do you think?
Oh, yeah. People's always been distracted. But now it's just an easier way because, like I said, everybody's walking around with these phones in their hands. They're walking around all these all these devices. It's so quick now. And now people's, like I said, attention span is going down so further because they want quick. It's that quick. Quick. Like even just like a while ago, it's like you can just get streaming like even quick right now. Heck, you talking about how bad this is. You're talking about for pornography, bro. You can just instantly get on your phone and grab it. At least you have to go download something on the computer and pull up something, man. Do some work to get it.
It's crazy because I have a client, man. He said he watches like 3 times a day.
Yeah.
Watch it at work, watch it in the morning. Yeah. Man, it's bad.
It's bad. And like I said, one click, you just hurry up and pull it up on the site. Before you had to go do work to do all that stuff.
Now people don't have to do any work.
You barely got to do any work.
It's crazy.
It's readily available for you. And it's like, man, back then, like I said, it wasn't as bad, but that TV is what kind of came in, was that big time player. Because that TV is what set people down. Set you down in your living room, set you down on your couches. And then during that 50s and 60s, it's like a big time when everybody got their news from that. And everybody, what people saying on TV was true. And then it just went from when people saying on behind any screen, phone screen, laptop screen, whatever screen, it's true.
So where is the truth?
Like, the truth can be found in the places where they don't want us to look. They would say hiding something from people, especially from black folks. You hide it in a book.
Yep.
That's what I said. We need to
black
get
folks
into
ain't looking at no book.
We ain't looking at no book.
Some are.
And then some says you got some. And then now we're starting to get a little bit more educated now, but we're not looking in the right books. And like I said, between all these, so many lies and distractions and stuff of what's going on, it is hard to find the truth. We're connected in lies, but we're divided in truth. Like we've always said.
Divided in truth. And so do you feel like kind of like the devil is the one that kind of divides the people, or is this just us doing it on our own? Or
yeah, it's a handful, it's a mix, because the devil is definitely at work, but he also uses people too to work through. Right. And that he does his job here, just like the Most High, just like God has his people here that he uses work through. Satan wants to mimic him. It tells us in Isaiah 14, I want to be like the Most High. So everything that you see him do is going to be a counterpart of that. And so that's what he brings into the world.
Got you.
But like I said, with our people, we're so fall up and into the devil's plans. It's just, that's what we want. Like I said, that's in our music, that's in our entertainment. It's in everywhere we look.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So I know, like, people who know you, like, when did you become like a Hebrew Israelite? Was that like, what year was that when you really started really getting real invested and learning about it and everything? Was that like 2017, It's like 2017?
2016, 2017. Yeah, I wouldn't say, yeah, I was around that time, 2016, 2017.
That's after we dropped the second album.
Yes. And this was when it came to me and it hit me, because I was at a like kind of this crossroads in the life and kind of trying to figure out a lot of stuff. But it came to me at the perfect time. And I wouldn't say necessarily becoming a Hebrew Israelite, because it's not something you can become. Okay. It's something we already are. It's just coming to the knowledge of who we are and who I am, who I was.
Right.
Like, because they hid that and they lied to us for a long time.
Right.
About our history and stuff. And you just go back and put everything together. Like I said, if I want to know anything about you, Chris, or anything about anything, I just go back to the origins. And that's what you have to study. History was always one of the most boring subjects in school. Nobody cared about it. But they told us their history. They didn't tell us the right history, what we needed to know. And so when you cover that up, then people are going to be bored with it. But if you tell us actually interesting history and facts that we need to be knowing, well, guess what? It may raise your eyebrows a little bit, you know? But history is very, very important. Like I said, if I want to know anything about you, Chris, the origins of you, I can just go back to the day you were born, when you were established, 1989, or 1991? 92. 92, so 92, to find out what hospital you were born at, what time, how much you weighed. Yeah. Then from there, I can continue to track what elementary school you went to, what middle school you went to.
Google already knows that one.
Already knows.
Right.
And then you can track all that information and all those years to exactly where you got to right now, how you're here right now.
Wow.
And that's all you have to do. And sometimes it's like, it sounds as simple as it is, but once you get to start going and digging, you'll find it's a little complex because you got to scatter through the lies. But once you do all that, it's easy. You start seeing everything.
Wow. So who was it that introduced you to it? Or like, did you already kind of know about Hebrew Israelites, or like, was there somebody who told you like, hey, like, this is who you are?
Yes. Ty and mom, like, it was something that always told me about going to this barbershop that was right around the corner from my house.
Yeah.
Something on my spirit that just always telling me, like, man, just go in there. And so I finally went in there one day, and I got more than just a haircut. I'll tell you that. But he used to have this duffel bag full of books, and tons of them. The Bible's in there, the Apocrypha's in there, but he would show me all these different things. And he was like, you know who you are, right? And I'm like, nah, what you talking about? He's like, you Israelite, bro, from the tribe of Judah. He's from the 12. And I'm like, what?
He's like 12?
Yeah. And he started cracking open all these different books. And it was just hitting me, and I couldn't refute it, because he's bringing the stuff that's in books, man. Like, you know.
So that was the time when you were distracted.
Oh, and he sent me this video and stuff about the lost 12 tribes, and then connected it all. And I was like, wow. Like, it makes a lot of sense. And then from then, I started doing my own research and start connecting the dots.
Right. Like, what would you say to like people who are still kind of like, you know, black folks who are still like in the church, and they're kind of there, but they don't really know like who they are, like according to like what you're saying? Like, what are some like parts in the Bible that you remember off the top that they should look back at to see like who we really are?
Well, definitely. Well, you can go into that, like I said, in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, which is a well-renowned dictionary that's used. Like I said, we didn't write these stuff. So you have to remember, go back, like, we did write these books. The people who wrote these books were wanting the information to be passed along between them. White eyes only. Not for us to see. We wasn't reading back then. But they wrote this stuff. But they've always told us that, like I said, we were from Africa. We was from the dark tribes. We were just Africans, right? But it clearly says in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary that we are not from the tribe of Ham. We are not Libyans, Canaanites, Egyptians, or any of that. But those were progenitors of the dark races. But it says clearly not the Negros. I even have that book with me if you want to pull it. I didn't know if you do all that, but it clearly says not the Negros.
I remember you showing me that one. Yeah.
Then I said,
what's the name of the dictionary again?
The Zondervan Bible Dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah, I got all my books and stuff with me. But it tells us in there that we're not that. And I was like, well, then who are we? Who are we? Because they're not telling us, just like you said, in the churches, they're not telling us these on Sundays. And when you line up what the scripture says in the Bible, and you line up practices that are in Christianity and what you're doing on Sundays, there's a clear difference. There's confliction there. Right. And this stuff is not matching up.
What's the main parts that don't match?
Well, it's a lot of it. Like I said, you can go into like just like Sunday worship in general. Like, we're supposed to be worshiping on the Sabbath. It's stated all throughout the scriptures on the Bible. So we have to ask ourselves, why are we worshiping on Sunday? Where did that come from?
Yeah, where did it come?
Who started that? And it was started at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD by Constantine, when he merged pagan ideologies into Christianity. Well, into the Bible, into religion, to make Christianity.
Because was the Council of Nicaea like the ones that pretty much put the books of the Bible together?
No, the books of the Bible were already together, but they use and merge pagan traditions into it. And that's when he moved it to Sunday worship. You got Easter instead of the Passover. All these things are not found in the scriptures. But to go and to help to identify us to see that is you go through the curses of Deuteronomy 28. And you can go all through there. And like I said, you can match it up with the black community. There's no other people who matches those curses that'll be said for us to be going on today.
Yeah.
Like it defines and clearly, because everybody knows we came over here on slave ships. There was a couple of us before here and there with the Native Americans. But like I said, that's where on the top, because the Native Americans are part of the 12 tribes of Israel as well. They're from Reuben and Gad. So any place you go around the world and you find indigenous people, they are from the 12 tribes. Wow. Because it said we'd be scattered all four corners. Wow. Not from one place, from Turkish, from Armenia, after the Holocaust, from Germany. You know, like that, that one place. The Bible says all four corners, so that doesn't match up.
What do you think about, like, obviously, like Kanye West is kind of like, he doesn't claim to be like part of the Hebrew Israelite community, but he's speaking a lot about, you know, saying like, hey, I can't be anti-Semitic because I am Semitic. You know, he's black, but like, what's your thoughts about, you know, Kanye West and why they haven't, like, you know, took him out if he's speaking all this stuff?
Well, they haven't taken him out, because then if you took him out, then that will raise even more eyebrows. But what you can do is to hurt a man, you hit his pockets. And so, like, during that whole interview when he was on Drink Champions and letting us know about the Hebrew Israelites, because there's been other people that came out, but they've had to been hush-hush and they have to apologize and revert back of what they said.
Like Kyrie.
He
apologized, right?
Man, Kyrie, Nick Cannon, it's a bunch of them that's done it. And so is Kanye West. But Kanye West, they stripped Adidas from him. They stripped a lot. They took a lot of his money. So like I said, they're going to hit your pockets. But he knows who we are. But a lot of these people in that industry know who we are, but they can't say it. Kyrie Irving, like you just brought up, he didn't even say we were Hebrew Israelites. He posted a link from Amazon of a documentary talking about how blacks would go back to Hebrew Israelites.
He didn't even say it.
He didn't even say it.
He just reposted.
They ready to take Nike from him, suspend him from the league.
But then why did Amazon have that on there?
Exactly. Put that up with Jeff Bezos. Why take that up with Kyrie Irving? And it's still on there. Because there's so many nicks and cracks now, because we're in the age of information now where it's getting out. You can't hide it anymore. You can't hide it at all who we are anymore.
You know, you're saying as far as black people were Hebrew Israelites, what does that mean for us now as far as like the black community?
Well, that's what's wrong with the black community. The black community, we don't have any direction. We're distracted. Yeah. And also we're in competition with one another, but we're all suffering from the curses right now. Yeah. And if we come back to our power, then we will get empowered. And because we're disconnected from that and we're caught up in sin, the white man knows that. Like I said, this is in the scripture from Judas. He tells us, like, if I know to keep them in sin, then they will be disconnected from the power. Wow. This is the way I keep them down. This is the way we have rule over them. And we can continue to oppress them.
You might have to pull out the book.
That's what I'm saying. I got lots of, we can read it, and like I said, that'll be better even for listeners and stuff, and like to pull.
Yeah, you got the books with you. Let's do that. Yeah, man. What books do you got right here? Let's take a look.
So we got a bunch of books. So the Zondervan Bible Dictionary, the one that I was telling you about, that has it talks about Ham. So I can show this really quick. But after the flood, Noah had 3 sons: Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So just real quick, Ham, like it was a picture of all the dark races that are throughout Africa that you see today. So I'm going to go to what they have written for Ham. Okay. In the Bible Dictionary, and I read this. So Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negros, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So again, he became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes. This is in the Zondervan Dictionary. Okay. So your question is, remember when we said Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth. So this was saying Ham, that we are not them, even though we are a dark race, but they tell us we're them. You line up 10 Africans in this room and 10 Negroes from the hood, you're going to be able to tell a difference. Yeah. You're going to be able to tell a clear difference, you know what I'm saying? Right. So when Kanye went back and said, I can't say that I'm anti-Semitic if I'm Semitic and know who I am, the same way Kyrie said it, because we're from the line of Shem. Shem is the blessed line that came from Abraham. The blessing went from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob into the 12 tribes.
So Shem is the part of the 12 tribes.
Yes, yeah. Well, Shem is one of the father of the 12 tribes. So the father of the 12 tribes is Isaac. Goes down to Isaac, Jacob, and then Jacob is the father of the 12 tribes. I'm sorry. Yes.
Okay.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and then from and the Shemitic, like I said,
because Shem is Shemitic.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Shem comes from Shemitic.
It went over my head real quick. But Shem is Shemitic. Sem.
Mm-hmm. And that's why we can't be anti-Shemitic, because the people over there who say that they're Jewish.
Wow.
But that's why the ISH. That.
So does it say in there like, hey, like the Negros are from Shem?
Well, it does not say that, but it gives us the clue that it says is that that we are not Ham, who they've been telling us about, and now we just have to put together that us being from Shemitic, because we were in Israel. Last time that black folks were in Israel, in our homeland, was in 70 A.D. 70 A.D. was when we ran down from the time of Julius and Pompey. From that time, the Roman army came down and we went into Africa.
70 A.D.?
Yes. I'm gonna grab this from Babylon.
We're getting educated. We're getting educated today on the.
Oh yeah, Rudolph went to this book from Babylon and Timbuktu.
Nice cover too.
Yeah, this is an excellent book to get.
You see real cool. Let's put this on. We put some of these books. Let's put that first one on the screen real quick. So
the Zondervan Bible Dictionary right there.
And then this is another one right here
from Babylon and Timbuktu. Yes, sir. This
wow, so that's kind of like the one like Kyrie. We about to get you gonna get my show canceled on the 3rd episode, bro.
Hey, you because that's like we can go into it. We don't have to get too much. That's
like kind of what Kyrie was saying, like Babylon to Hebrew to Negro.
Yeah, and but this Babylon Timbuktu, this basically goes in and details a lot of the time when we were in Israel, after the time when the Roman Empire came down there and we ran out of Israel into Africa.
So where was Babylon at exactly?
Huh?
Where was Babylon at?
Ancient Babylon was in Iraq. That's where ancient Babylon is.
But now present Babylon is...
Present Babylon is today in America.
Wow.
Yes. That's what it tells you. And we can go into the actual Bible and see that.
Yeah, we're going to get through all of it.
Because it'll tell you. But this is what I wanted to just read a quick
so you got bookmarkers on there? Or you just could look like you just open it up and it's right there too.
Yeah. Sometimes this one I just...
Oh, you got to highlight it.
Yeah. So this one is a little expert. I'll read from it real quick.
Okay, let's check it out.
So in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. And AD. Captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves. Right here.
Wow.
Highlighted.
Black Jewish slaves.
Black Jewish slaves.
Wow.
So then when we get into the time later during the transatlantic slave trade, because we were all in different camps and we've set up, and like the Bantu, the Natu, there's so many of us that are still in Africa today that we still have camps on. Right. But we were intermingled in with all these other people of the African tribes, but they captured us. And then when you get to the transatlantic slave trade,
who captured? Oh, during the slave trade you're talking about?
Well, during Africa, because remember when we ran and fled down into Africa and all these places, they weren't just in loving us that much like that. You know,
we had to go to Africa because they were
because the Roman armies ran us out. So when we fell it because they came and captured Jerusalem, they came and took it over. And Christ had already prophesied about these things that it would happen as well. Then that's in the scriptures as well too, that this would happen. But this goes into details and stuff about when we did leave.
You're right. Man, let's look at some more.
Yeah.
Let's try to connect all these dots, man, because it's fully connected. We're trying to connect all the dots so we can see how everything's connected.
Connect all the dots. So then, now when we go into the curses, to the slip real quick.
Because there's a lot of people probably who are new to, Hebrew Israelite. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but, and there's also people who believe other things, and so they're kind of, skeptical because this is not in the mainstream media, or the parts of it in the media is kind of the aggressive ones out there, or whatever, or even like Kanye. But before we go dive into, more to hear, maybe to those viewers out there who go to church or maybe even might be from another religion, what's the best way, how you could describe it to them that they're kind of confused about some of the stuff you're saying now.
Okay, well, like if I was just talking about somebody in the church, like I would just ask them questions, because if you're a church person and you claim to be Christianity, that means you should know somewhat of the Bible. Is that wrong or right to ask? Mm-hmm. Is that wrong or right?
No, it's not wrong.
Wrong. Like, so you should be having some knowledge of the Bible, what's in there. So then I would just move forward to, like I said, I'm not going to go to anybody's throne or anything like that, because we were all in it intertwined once in a while. We all have to wake up, but at the same time, I would ask them, why do you do these things that you do with Christianity? Where can you prove that to me in the Bible?
Like
Where does it say Christmas? Where does it say Sunday worship? Where does it say all these things? Because if you say that Christmas, like you said, is Jesus' birthday, like just real quick, go back into the Zondervan Bible Dictionary. Christmas, the anniversary of the birth of Christ and its observance, celebrated by most Protestants and Roman Catholics. And like I said, the Roman Catholics, that's what we really need to get into, because Roman Catholics have a lot of,
just like on the Book of Clarence.
Yes, Rome is huge, and that's why a lot of people we have to identify and ask these questions and get answers to these questions. On December 25th, by Eastern Orthodox churches on January 6th, and by the Armenian Church on January 19th. The first mention of his observance on December 25th is in the time of Constantine, about AD 325. Remember earlier what we talked about, Constantine in AD 325, the Council of Nicaea. So remember, this is where the first observance of this comes from.
So what is it saying?
And then I just want to continue real quick.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Then it continues to go, the date of the birth of Christ is not known.
In the dictionary?
In the dictionary. So why are we doing Christmas in the church? But these are questions why I would ask Christians, because if I ask you these questions and you're celebrating this, you would have to give me a reason to why we do it.
Right. And a lot of, I remember I had, when I went to see my parents for Christmas, we went to a church. It was like a modern church, and the pastor kind of brought up something about that as well. But he was saying like, well, it doesn't matter exactly what the day is, but we just celebrate it anyway. So almost kind of like somebody having a birthday for somebody, but they don't remember their birthday, but it's like, hey, we celebrate it anyway. Like, I don't know what your thoughts would be about that.
Because Christ never said to celebrate his birthday. We're not even supposed to celebrate birthdays. That came from pagan Rome stuff, blowing out the cake, the candles, and all that stuff.
It's witchcraft.
But like I said, you could see that there from AD, from Christ.
Okay. So it's saying December 25th is the time of Constantine.
Yes.
What does that mean?
So that's the time Constantine appointed. You got to remember, that's what he appointed. So when we go back to the Council of Nicaea, these are when a lot of these things were implemented. Remember, they weren't celebrating this before Constantine. That's what it just cleared and told us. So it didn't start till
Constantine, then. Who is Constantine?
He was a Roman emperor. And you have to remember, remember, that's why I said we have to understand the history of the world. That's what I'm saying. Once we don't understand.
Was that his birthday?
No. This was Tammuz's birthday, and Nimrod. That's why they worshipped Nimrod, Tammuz, and Semiramis are all worshipped. These deities all came from Babylon.
Yeah, break it down to the people.
They all came
Nimrod,
from Babylon.
who are these deities?
Nimrod was a mighty man in the world that was before, and he got together the people to make basically the Tower of Babel, and conspired basically the whole world, and the whole world was that one language to basically get everybody to go to fight. He brought separation until it was divided, because everybody had one language at that time. But he got everybody to worship him as a god.
Nimrod.
Yes.
And so is the Tower of Babel is not up anymore?
No, it had got destroyed, but the same thing they're doing at the Tower of Babel is the same agenda that they have now in the world, is they're trying to get everybody on one accord. That's why you have the New World Order and all that. One currency, one government, one military. They all want to fight on what's coming. In the Tower of Babel, he got all nations to fight on what's coming. So when the Tower of Babel, and when all the people were together, when they all got separated, that's when the angels came down and separated from everything they were doing, because they were going to make a tower to erect to heaven. And this is where all the languages, religions, and all this stuff got separated in the world. And they took the three, so you have like Egyptian, Osiris, Iris, Horus, and all these people. Same in the Babylon, when you go to all these different religions throughout the world, they mimic all these virgin births, the sun gods, because they all came from Babylon. And they just got distributed throughout all these different races and nations. but they all stem from the same place, and they all stem from the.
So
from Babel.
let me go back to the Bible part, because I always got confused. Like, I wasn't paying attention to Sunday school, you can see, but when the Tower of Babel, you talk about Nimrod, he was the one you're saying that brought everybody together or divided. He made all the languages to divide the people, you're saying.
Well, no, so the languages wasn't divided till the Most High divided the languages. He's the one who separated the languages and brought the angels down.
Why?
Because everybody was on one accord. So just imagine if you had everybody in the United States or everybody in the world speaking one language and on one job. Everybody did this one thing came together. Like you talking about unity, unity. Everybody united for that one cause, but it was for a bad cause because it's a fight against the Most High. So he broke them because he was like, man, y'all making some work down there, y'all making some progress, because just think if you got everybody in the state of everybody in the United States to work on one task. One task of building a whole tower. That thing is gonna be getting built high, built fast.
What was the agenda? Like they were he got everybody together to build this tower so then he could be able to
go back and fight against God because they didn't want the world flooded again. And the whole tower is supposed to read up there so they could shoot arrows and fight and think they were going to be harming them and stuff, but they weren't doing anything like that. Right. But the whole point was because that he united the world and said that he would make sure it would never get flooded again and that we would go up and we would make war with the Most High. That was his main agenda.
Okay.
He was supposed to be here it is right here, let's see. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Most High, wherefore it was said, even Nimrod, the mighty hunter. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Akkad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. And Shinar was one of the capitals of Babylon at that time. And that's when he began to build up all these places. Now, when I go to here, I'll skip down here, but and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said, let one to another go to, let us make brick and burn them thoroughly, and let us have brick for stone and slime, for they made mortar. And they said, go and let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad on the face of the earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and nothing will be restrained from them, and they will be imagined to do. So he said, go to, let us go down there and confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Most High scattered them abroad from thence from the face of the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did confound the language of all the earth. And from thence the Lord scattered them abroad from all the face of the earth. And this happened like so. So we call the name of it Babel. And he said, because that was the name of the language. So now if you fast forward even today.
Babbling is like something that's kind of like confusing when you say the person's babbling.
The person's babbling. And then what's the language app today that they use? Do you know what that is?
Latin?
It's called Babel. It's called Orange. You can pull it up on your phone right now and download the app called Babel. And basically it's like a Rosetta Stone type app, but you can learn all different languages. All the origin came from here.
Yeah. Wow. So what was that one? So that one language was Babel. That's what they were speaking.
That was probably a language of Akkadian and stuff back then. Even though it was a mix of Hebrew too as well. But back then, one language.
Wow.
And then from then, the Most High said, I'm gonna have to separate this because remember he said nothing will be straight. He said, the Most High, behold, the people is one, and they all have one language. And this they began to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. So just like I said, imagine if you had all the people in the United States on one project, building one project. Nothing's going to be restrained. You got all the labor in the world, in the country.
Just on that one project.
On that one project.
And that could be very powerful if it's for the right thing.
Exactly, if it's for the right thing. But their intentions was for the wrong thing. Right. And so once that came to be divided, the Most High came and broke all that apart when he divided the people from the language. So just imagine if me and you are going to work one day, right? Everybody in the country, we're going on work on this one project. We come to work the next day. I'm speaking Spanish, you're speaking French. I don't know what you're saying. You don't know what I'm saying.
Because see, I thought, that, God was about unity and then like the devil was about separation. But like in this story, it's kind of like the reverse. So that's help me with that. That's what's confusing to me. So maybe I'm wrong about the.
But well, he's galvanizing the people to remember to be in unity to fight against something else with one language, and he's seeing that the master plan because the devil got a hold of Nimrod. Nimrod wasn't being worked through by the Most High through God. He was being worked with through Satan.
What
And so
happened? What's his story?
Who's
The Nimrod.
Nimrod was he was a huge. He was from Cush, and like I said, he got to go fighting with Esau. He ended up killing Esau. Esau, we had to learn about him too. A whole nother, man, like yeah, but like
a whole nother episode.
Yeah, exactly. Goes back into him, but Nimrod, like I said, he was just like, if you want to know about like a great tyrant who galvanized people, such as like a Hitler or such as like a Leopold or something like that, like a Alexander the Great.
That was Nimrod.
Yeah, it was Nimrod.
Wow.
That was like a Nimrod back in those times. And
That's
at the
crazy.
time, so we had all the languages, like I said, at one. But when the Most High separated those languages, that's when you had people going over here, Hindus, people speaking here, people speaking here. But the things that the practices and everything what they learned, they took with them to their respective parts in the world. And so that's why you have these similar ideologies. So if you go, like I said, from Egyptology to Indian ontology to Buddhist, all these different ones and stuff, and you see like even Christianity. So when you see all these, the virgin birth, the Virgin Mary, the virgin this and all that, you get that from Babel. All of it comes from there. And that's why you have it all in these different areas of the world.
Wow, it all comes from Babel.
All comes
Babylon's
from
in
Babylon.
Iraq.
All comes from Babylon. Yes, all comes from
So
Babylon.
was that
modern day Iraq?
Modern day Iraq.
Yeah, because that was like the Mesopotamian area, because it was a grand area. Yes.
But before it was just Babel.
Well, even if
Babylon. Babylon.
Yes. For now, because it was a Babel. Remember, we had read there that he had began all these cities and stuff, and they journeyed there. Remember, because like there was nobody dwelling there at that point. Once they started populating the world over again after the flood. So then after the flood, like I said, that's how we can track what was going on then, and then how we even got to now.
So was the flood that was intended to kind of divide everybody up too?
Well, no, the flood was to wipe away mankind because it was so evil and so wicked, and that's because it was giants that came down. So the demons came down and made it with the women and stuff, and they had giants.
Did you hear about the thing and they said it like in Miami?
Yeah, I did hear about that.
What do you think about that? Because I saw there was like a whole bunch of cops and like people were trying to say like they saw like giants, but like
people saying they saw all kind of beings. They were shooting at them and they weren't doing nothing. They were walking through the walls, and like I said, I don't know, but they was trying to keep it on the hush though. I know whatever it was, and it
was
and
like,
they
like so many cop cars,
so many, and
I was like whoa.
The story that they tried to give out was it was
teenagers?
kids fighting with fireworks stuff. Kids, you telling me you getting every cop,
they had
and that is just
like 100 cops,
100 something cops, like every cop in Miami for some kids fighting.
Some badass kids, man. Some defiant kids. It had so many. So how can we be able to tie this?
Kids.
I was watching it with my son last week. But like, how do we connect this to like because or even like the movie The Book of Clarence? Like, I would love to hear your perspective on that, and like maybe you saw obviously some of the references to what you're talking about in the movie. Like what did you think about the movie?
Well, I love the movie. I think it depicted us very great. Like I said, it took us right now in modern time, with the smoking weed, the hustling, the gambling, and it put it back in those times, and it put our people back in there, and it put the right color on our people there. That was really big to me. Like
that's big because there's no other movie that was doing it.
No other movies done it.
You might
like
see
that.
one like black person here and there, but like everybody
it had a black Christ too. Like that's what we need. Because
and they had Doctor Strange playing. Cause wasn't that Doctor Strange at the end?
Playing
the actor that played Jesus.
Oh, I didn't know. Was that Doctor Strange?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that.
It looked like him.
Yeah, I didn't know. No, I didn't know that was him. But now that was great. Like I said, how they depicted us and how they depicted Christ, how they depicted John the Baptist, how they depicted all of us, because like they change everything now because that's another reason why like Christianity and the people of our community are so confused is because they see Jesus, they go to the Lord and they see all these white men, but the white man is the one who oppressed us and took us down. But you see like the Christ, blonde hair, blue eyes, white hair, like that's not his description. Like, and like going back to what I would ask a Christian in churches, like who is that? Who is that? Because that description is not in the scriptures. And like I said, we can get Christ's description. And like it's clear as day. Let's go here. I'm gonna go to Revelation chapter 1. Let's see, verse 13, and then And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man. So the Son of Man, they say his name Jesus, right? We'll just say Christ. We'll say Jesus for this topic. Clothed with the garment down to the foot. So that means clothed to the garment down to the foot. He has a body. And girt about past with the golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow. So his head and his hairs were white like wool. Like just showing old wisdom. Wool. Who has woolly hair? And today, who has froze and curly hairs, bro? Black folks have woolly hair.
Bob Ross.
Well, like,
but yeah, you're right.
You know,
I mean, I remember hearing that one before.
And the description, like I said, when we get the picture of Jesus, right, and we in those churches, that's long, straight, blonde hair.
So what's the fear, like, if they start, telling the truth about everything that you're saying?
Because it is going to unfold all the lies in the world. Because this is the biggest conspiracy in the world, Chris. The biggest. About what's really going on, all the cover-up they've been doing. It's the biggest, Chris. And like I said, let me continue. And his eyes were red as fire, a flame of fire, and his feet like unto fine brass. So what color is brass? Brass is brown.
Right.
But let's get a little more of that. As if they burned in a furnace. And his voice is the sound of many waters. The sound of many waters means he got a deep voice. Deep. But keep going back. Unto fine brass, and as they burned in a furnace. So what happens if you take brass and you burn it? Black. That's our color, Chris. So how do you get that white man up there?
I remember,
like, where does that come from?
They had I think they had who was it? Michelangelo, somebody like paint, the Sistine Chapel, but to paint it to favor their image.
Come on,
I can't remember exactly where it was. Where I saw this at, where I read it at, but obviously it wasn't the real, description of what they looked like.
And I'll get that for you too, because it's ironic. It's great that you said that, because where the paintings, Michelangelo, Leonardo,
Michelangelo.
all these famous painters, Ninja Turtles, bro. And we love Ninja Turtles. I do. And speaking of Ninja Turtles and these famous painters during the time of the Renaissance, during the 1300s, 1400s, 1500s.
The Medici family.
Yes, the Medici. Yes, the
Medici
we was
out there in Italy. Like we learned, they pretty much funded
everything.
They were the first bankers.
Come on now. See, you already up on stuff. The Medicis were kind of almost like your Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and at these times,
Creed.
Like, yeah, like that's a creed. But that's who set up a lot of these things, and they're from from Esau, Edom too. But if you go more about the Medici family, like you said, who financed everything, bro, because there was agenda, and the Medici family were working with the Rothschilds as well. So
what was their agenda, to be able to whitewash the image of Christ?
Yes, sir. Yes, and I'm about to get to that right now. So so right now, like I said, during the 1500s Renaissance, during all that painting, all these famous painters and stuff would go out. That's how you would be displayed. We didn't have all these crispy cameras like you did now. All these icons and icons 5000 and stuff, and getting HD 4K pixels. We didn't have that. So you had to have paintings. So during that time, that's why they say the Dark Ages. A lot of people don't know about that, because the Dark Ages, because we used to roam. We ruled in Europe. We ruled all those
Moors.
Kings. Yes, exactly, the Moors.
So the Moors, are they from Shem?
No, yes. The Moors are us. The Moors are us.
Okay.
They're black people. They would see us. Like I said, we were all over the world. The world was made for us.
So black people are global.
Yes.
Not just in Africa.
And they started kicking us out during the times of the Renaissance and stuff, and started shooting us out, and started killing anybody that was following these and all that. But I want to get back to the paintings real quick, because I don't want to get too much off topic.
My show's gonna be canceled after this episode.
hey. But this is from
what are you reading from on this one right
So here? This is still from the Bible too. This is from 1 Maccabees chapter 3 and 48, and this is where it tells us.
This is Apocrypha?
Yes, and this is also part of the Bible as well. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So it tells us. So the book of the law, which is the scriptures, is the Bible, but the heathen painted all our images.
Read that one more time.
And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So the likeness of their images, which is white man, blonde hair, blue eyes, and that person that Christ is portraying to be is Cesare Borgia. He's the Pope Alexander VI. That's his son. So Cesare Borgia, he was a military man. He was a gay man. He had a hell of influence. He was with the Medici family. He did all that. But what he did was put his face up to go out for the rest of the world as the image of the Messiah.
So the Medici's family's grandson
Helped funded that.
Okay, wow, wow.
Helped fund it. Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes. And so they painted that. And that was the time Leonardo da Vinci had did that. So let me go here.
So do you think Leonardo knew?
Oh, yeah. Definitely knew.
That's why they were paying him so much money.
Oh, yeah. And he was a great at that time. And he was even on a secret society. Leonardo da Vinci, he was influenced with the Knights Templar and all that.
But even when me and Nessa went to Italy, their artwork is just so flawless. Seeing the statue of David that Michelangelo painted. I'm not painted, but sculpted.
Right.
It's perfect.
Perfect.
It's literally perfect.
Man, I haven't been there to see, but I've seen that on videos and stuff. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, right there in Florence, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Florence, Italy has a lot of history there, man. It's a lot. Well, this is also from Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verse 15. For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he had made an image of his child, soon taken away, now honored him as a god, which was then a dead man, and delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. So these ceremonies and sacrifices went to the son that was soon taken away, but they honored him as a god. That is Cesare Borgia. Roman Alexander Pope, the sixth son.
How do you spell that? Cesare? I think I remember seeing something before. Cesare Borgia?
Yep. Cesare Borgia. It's like one of the Caesars. Almost you would spell it.
It looks just like the white version of Jesus.
Look just like the white version of Jesus.
Dang.
And that's who that person is. So I always say, we go back in history and can point to these origins and go back to it and actually have a definition of what's going on. Then you get to the truth of things, and you can't cut it. Lies can't get in between that anymore. But this is a lot of information that our people are missing. And a lot of, like I said, they need self-identity. They need laws. We don't have any laws, no structure, no hate. It's all hate in our neighborhoods. But if from the movie, picking up, like I said, what I got from that and some people is the depiction of them actually being black and stuff, and going to we're talking about Christianity, asking Christians some of these questions of what you actually do. So we, table down I'm going to name my Sunday, actually Christ being white, black, but his description is clearly in here that he's a black man. And also going into us being black too as well. Solomon, David, all of us were,
Right.
But I am black, but this is from the Song of Solomon 1 and 5. He said, I am black, but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me, and they made me keeper of the vineyards, but my own vineyard have I not kept. So basically in this scripture, Solomon is telling that the women, the daughters of Jerusalem, don't worry just because I'm gotten a little darker. I've been outside keeping my vineyard, keeping my garden. I ain't be able to keep mine, but I have to keep my mother's and mother's children. They were angry with me. So I had to do that. So being out in the sun just made me darker. But I still look good, baby. I still look good, And that's just like us, right? As black folks, we know when we go out to the sun, what happens? We get darker. We're like, man, I can't be out here in the sun too much longer. I'm going to turn a couple shades dark, Soon as summertime here, I get going 2 shades, I'm back in the house.
Like Wesley Snipes.
Shit. This is right here in the scriptures.
Wow. So, that's crazy, man.
That's right there in the scriptures. Everything that we do go through, it's right there.
What do you say to the folks who just feel Hebrew Israelite is just a movement and not a religion? Because let's say this is the everyday churchgoer, he realizes Jesus was black, but then what's the next step after that?
The next step, I would always read, you have to read your Bibles. And I'm not going to come down and say everybody that's in the Christian church, everybody that's in the religion, they don't read, but a majority of them do not. They go to Sunday, they go hear a sermon, they get a couple scriptures thrown at them, if even a couple, and they get a feel-good message, and they're back into the work week. You get a couple praise and worship, a couple songs, but there's no truth being in there. So I would advise everybody to dig into these scriptures and start getting to the truth of these things.
Where should they start?
Start with Deuteronomy. Start with going into the laws of some of the curses.
Let's go to that one real quick.
Everybody acknowledges blessings. Oh, Lord gave me a house. Lord gave me a car. Lord gave me that new promotion.
Lord gave me this.
Lord gave me this. Lord gave me that. But that's not always the case. So people don't always want to acknowledge the curses. We came over here for being disobedient to the Most High. And all these things were already said, was prophesied. When Moses got the law, the Torah on Mount Sinai, these were already implemented in the law. So if this would happen, this will. If you guys did this will happen. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. What did we do to get punished?
Acting a fool like we are now. We wasn't following the law, statute, commandments. Like on Saturdays, instead of going to Sabbath, we wanted to go do Olympic games with the Greeks. We wanted to go play discus. We wanted to go do all these things. Gymnasiums start with them. So you got people running around half naked, and gyms are still now today. Like it started with them doing that Greek stuff. Like you said, you seen the picture of Daniel or of David, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Was he naked?
Yeah.
Why did all that naked stuff came from the Greeks and the Romans?
Wow.
Because
we're black people doing it though,
and we were following suit. Because we take whatever we're the best on the planet doing anything. So whatever we do, we're gonna magnify it times 10. If it's cooking, we can take that dish. We're gonna make that dish to taste 10 times better. Mm-hmm. If it comes to doing anything bad, we're gonna take that wickedness and make it 10 times worse.
Damn. I don't know we're not gonna drop no bomb on nobody though.
Wait, we ain't gonna do that. They ain't gave us a bomb to go do that. We don't have access to that. We're the only race in the nation on the face that we don't have nothing.
We got braids.
So we got braids. We can go dunk and basketball. Like I said, let's get into these curses right here, man. let's get into these.
You said we ain't got nothing.
We ain't got nothing. So let's go down. So I won't even go into the time of Deuteronomy 28. Half of the first top half deals with all the blessings which will happen to us if we do what we're supposed to do. Stay on course with the Most High and does everything He tells us. That's just like you have a son, right? Mm-hmm. So you give him rules here. He's living in the house. You tell him you want his grades to stay up. You want the trash out. You want the dishes done. You want his room kept up and clean. Mm-hmm. You gave him these 4 commands. Mm-hmm. So if he does these things, guess what? You can get your allowance. You can go play with your friends. You can go outside. You can do what you want.
You get your independence.
You can get your independence and freedom.
Handle your responsibilities.
Handle your responsibilities. Mm-hmm. If you don't do these, well, guess what?
Damn.
Hey, you give me that game. You on punishment. Go sit in your room for the weeks. Whatever discipline action you want to put at him. But that's the gist of it. How the Most High works with us too. He works with us as children because we're His children. Mm-hmm. He made all races on the face of the earth, but He chose us. He chose us to be a separate people. Like it wasn't anything that we did special. Nothing. He made everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and do that too. Deuteronomy chapter 7. Let's see, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Most High thy power. The Lord thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto Himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. The Lord did not set His love upon you, nor choose you, because ye were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. Because it was 70 souls of us that came that went into Egypt. And then after He brought us out of Egypt was when He gave us the laws, statutes, commandments after that. Because that's why you always hear our people singing, "Tell, O Pharaoh, let my people go." So our people, we were the ones that were in subject and in bondage and in slavery in Pharaoh. We were. Like, that was our people doing that. Right. So it's like, wow. Let me even. This is all Psalms 137:1. By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down, we wept, and we remembered Zion. And remember, Babylon, this is talking about Babylon here, America.
Okay, this is talking about okay.
By the rivers of Babylon, there we sat down. Yeah, we wept and we remembered Zion. We remembered Zion from where we were from. We hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof. Black bodies hanging from the willow trees. The willow trees down in the south. We hanged our harps upon the willows, for there they carried us away captive, required of us a song. So the people who carried away captives was the white man. They required us a song, and they wasted us and required us mirth, saying, "Sing us one of those songs of Zion." And we said, "How shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land?" Strange land is here in America that we're singing.
Wow.
All those Egypt songs, all those songs about Pharaoh.
So that's prophecy right there.
That's prophecy. Wow. It's all written right here. But we don't read or make the connections. But we are today on Fully Connected.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Flowing on willow trees. That's where we did that. And remember, and also,
because Zion, pretty much, obviously, like Zion was where we were at.
Yes, sir. Yes,
and
sir.
so, what was the other names they called it too? Was there other names other than just Zion?
Well, Mount Zion was the holiest of holies, but Jerusalem. It was called Jerusalem. Yeah. Right. Israel. Yeah, that's what the mountain was. And Ephraim. So, like, remember, Man, there's so much into, man. Because at Jerusalem, that's where the term Jew comes from. So you saying you're Jewish, all that stuff, that's just a conversion. All these people convert to be Jew. Like Jewish, like Jew comes from Judah. We're from the tribe of Judah. So Jew is just short for saying Jew.
Judah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, we always have slang. So, hey, what up? Yeah, Jew. But it came from Judah. That's where Jew comes from.
But not Jewish.
Yeah, not Jewish. We're Jews. We're the real Jews. We're not Jewish.
Wow.
Ish would be trying to pertain to be like something.
When did that word
close.
come about? Do you know?
Jewish?
Yeah.
Jewish came, man, like probably I would say maybe 1948 probably, during the Balfour Declaration, I would probably say. So it was a time when the Rothschilds and it was when the United Nations purchased that property of Israel and gave it to the Zionists who are there now. And they bought it from the Arabians, yes. Because during the Ottoman Empire, during the Arabian War, after we got kicked out, remember, that was open field. So they just went to war over that territory. Because whoever runs Jerusalem, Zion, runs the entire world. Like, whoever has power of that area, you roll everything.
Because it's the Holy Land.
Because it's the Holy Land, exactly. And that's why, like I said, Europe, Esau, Edom, Rome, that's why they own that. That's why they made it the state of Israel.
Why is God allowing them to have power?
Let's go. Let's get that.
And then we'll go back to the...
Yes, and then we'll go back to the curses, okay?
We're getting educated today. We're seeing
We're going to get back.
We're learning.
Okay, so this is from Deuteronomy 32:16. They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrifice unto devils, not to God. To gods whom they knew not. To new gods that newly came up, whom your fathers feared not. The rocks that ever forgot God, of the rock that begot thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten God that formed thee. And when the Lord saw it, he abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them, and I will see what their end shall be. For they are a froward generation, children in who is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy, that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities. And I will move them to jealousy of those which are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. So because we made God jealous, remember, the first commandment is thou shalt not have no other gods before me.
So break this down real quick.
So he is a jealous power. So
what you just read there, break it down there. It went a little bit over my head.
No, you're good. You're good. I won't go all the way back. I'll go here. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy, which with those are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Are you talking about as far as
talking about us? He's gonna put a foolish nation on top of us.
Why?
He's gonna make us jealous because he just said they have moved me to jealousy because we moved him to jealousy.
What do we?
This is what he said. They provoked him to jealousy with the strange gods. With abominations provoked they him to anger. We did abominable acts. We provoked him with strange gods. We got to worship in all these other different deities and stuff and not giving power to him. Just like the Native Americans. They were taken over by a troop because they started giving the powers that they had into nature. They started saying there's a God of the water, there's a God of the wind, there's a God of the fire, all this stuff, worshiping these powers, and said because they can manipulate all that stuff. Each of us all had a traits and all had fucking innate abilities that the Most High gave each one of us tribes. And they had that, but they said instead of worshiping the Father who gave it to us, we'll worship these and say we're doing it on our own selves. Most High said, I don't think so. He said, no, y'all not doing that. He said, so because of that, a troop will overtake you guys, which is the United States Cavalry that overtook the Native Americans. Damn. Because they were moved over here way earlier. Remember, the Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom are different. And the whole reason... but
why aren't they not? Why isn't God doing anything to the people that are?
Well, he is all that is coming down the pipeline. That's why all that war and all that stuff is going on right now. They're all going to be out, but it's the whole reason. Let me read this again. Though, watch out. Most High is also angry with this too. So then, and David said, "Let there." This is from Romans 11, in chapter 1. He said, I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. But rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles for to provoke them to jealousy. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world and the diminishing of the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? So basically, he's saying through the riches of the world, we have to watch all these other nations enjoy this. And we have to be jealous of all these other people. That's why a lot of our people are jealous of the white man. We're trying to be like the white man because he has all the power and the riches.
Wow. Wow.
because the Most High powered him to do that, to make us the jealousy because we made God jealous by not following the law, statutes, commandments.
Dang.
Okay?
Wow.
By not following that. And then if we go back here to the curses, like I said,
Just trying to teach us a lesson.
and we go back here, and it said, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now we can just, I don't want to go through all of them, but let's just go highlight a couple of them that we can see in our community today. You know, so here. And the Lord shall cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee 7 ways before them. And thou shalt be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. So remember, we shall go out one way and come out 7 ways to get from them. The Roman Empire, remember, they came down and took us out. And it says we're going to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. We were spread out everywhere. We're in indigenous parts of Australia, Cambodia, bro. We're all in Russia. There's black folks in China, all over the place. We're there. People of Puerto Rico, indigenous of Haiti, Jamaica, all of our people are scattered everywhere unto all the kingdoms. It says that right here. So if these people were the actual Jews, wouldn't they have came from all over the world?
But where do they come from?
One place after World War II, from Armenia, Turkey. After all that, like what? You guys come from one place?
Wow.
And in Auschwitz, concentration spots in Germany where they came out down. Like what?
So are we, as black people, supposed to go back to Israel?
Not yet. We will go back to Israel. We will go back to Israel because even here in Revelations, it even tells us that they even know they're lying. Revelation is the last chapter of the Bible, and a lot of Christians can't even tell you much about Revelations, to be honest with you, Chris.
I haven't even read it,
exactly.
I'll be honest with you.
And this is a lot of what's going on now. So
I know like little bits and pieces of it, but yeah.
Right. And then you go even ask pastors, they can't. Oh, don't worry about that. We'll talk about that later. I got questions, man. But Revelations 3 and 9, behold,
I got questions.
Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, to know that I have loved thee. So he's clearly telling us, behold, I know the people of the synagogue of Satan. He's calling them the synagogue of Satan. Who worships in synagogues? They're over there in synagogues. They're calling themselves Jews. Well, our people aren't calling ourselves Jews. We don't know anything about us being Jews, bro. They're the ones calling themselves Jewish people, and are not, but do lie.
Wow. And that's right there,
Right there, Revelations 3 and 9.
Wow.
I would say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, Chris. The whole world is going to be like, damn, these niggas is the real Jews. No freaking way.
Dang. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
Revelation,
bro. It's a worldwide conspiracy. This is one of the biggest conspiracies covered up. And not only is that one of why we can, it was prophesied, and this was planned to do this to cover us up.
Why? Why was it planned?
Well, because they always say, all the other nations always hate us for being who we are. And we never did anything to
God. So then, what everybody else, like even like as far as like Asian people,
they came in. They came in.
Are they part of the tribes?
No, they're not. They're from the Japheth, but they're all conspired too. Because all these nations all conspire with Esau, with Edom, with the white man, but he double crossed them at the end, and they're finding all this out. That's why they're getting back mad at them. That's why everybody's trying to pull out the United States. They're getting off of the petrodollar. Like, we don't want to do business with you guys. You guys are crooked. Like, But this from Psalms 83 and 3. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people. The people are Israel, are us, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So, and it's going to go into naming off who these nations are. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites are the Arabians, who's one of the progenitors of Islam and all that. Of Moab and the Hagrians, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur is also joined with them. So a lot of the times too, we read these names in the Old Testament, in the Bible, but we can't pinpoint who these people are on the earth today. And that's why we're missing so much knowledge. And like why we say what's wrong with our community today too. There's a lot of wrong. One thing that's wrong is just the lack of knowledge that's there. We don't have knowledge there. And God tells us that too. I think it's still recording from Hosea 4 and 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of God. I will also forget thy children. So he's telling us, my people are destroyed for their lack of knowledge. That's what's going wrong with our people in our community. We're destroyed because we have no knowledge. We do so many drugs. We're off in this. We're off in this religion. We're dabbling in here. We're on social media. We're going off into sports. We eat everything, all this crap. We eat pork, crab, lobster. We have no knowledge of anything.
We're not supposed to eat lobster?
No, it's a bottom feeder. No. That's why I'm saying we get under these people and they start giving us all this crap and we think it's all good. But this is why I say my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's why we have high blood pressure, cholesterol problems, diseases in our kidneys, colon cancers, freaking heart disease. All these things come because we don't have knowledge of what to do, what to eat, what not to stay away from. All these things.
Wow.
Because we don't even have knowledge of who we are. That's why we're destroyed, bro. We're sitting there fornicating all this stuff, and we don't know that having sex with all these women gives us soul ties, and then we wonder why we have all this high anxiety and we have all these multiple personality disorders. It's because you sit there sleep with all these women, bro. And that woman probably done slept with all these guys.
Oh, it's fast women.
All these fast women. And it's like our guys it ain't just the women, because the guys is being fast too.
Right.
And all these spirits, and then that woman had sex with 7, 10, 15 different dudes. You went and slept with her. All those 7, 10, 15 different spirits that's on that woman is all on you.
Wow.
That's why we're all destroyed. But back to these curses, because it's so easy to veer off into something because we talk about something and then we got to go address that. But then it's
like trying to piece it all together.
Yeah, but then it's like trying to piece it all
together. That'd be nice
together.
if they had like a book that just kind of pieced all the. I forget you called it a name. It was like a word start with a P. I forget this is a word you said before, but like if you could just be able to piece all of it together, like is there like a book that just pieces it all together, like in order, like maybe like how you read the Bible? Because like you said before, like it's not meant to be read straight through. You're supposed to kind of find the different pieces.
Well, right. Let's go that real quick too, and then we'll go back to these curses real quick. But what the Bible is, you can read it chronologically front to back, and you'll get a kind of a good order of it in chronological order, kind of like with dates. But you want to unlock the mysteries of the Bible. You want to unlock what it's really trying to say to you.
So how do you unlock the mysteries of the Bible?
Like I'm gonna show you real quick. It's by precepts here.
Yeah, that's what it was. The word precepts.
Yep, Isaiah 14. Okay, Isaiah 28 and 9. So it says, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So it's saying, who am I going to teach knowledge to, or who can understand doctrine? And it's going into saying those that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So it's basically saying you have to start over yourself like a child. Just like Christ says in the beginning, he said, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must be born again. And then Nicodemus is asking, he's like, what? How can I be born again? I'm going to go back into my mother's stomach to be born again? He's like, no. You must be born again over with the water and the spirit of truth and baptized, but born over again to refresh your mind just like a child. Because a child is an empty vessel. You can pour it into him a lot. Once you get older and you start getting your ways, start learning things, somebody tries to tell you about certain things, you're like, that ain't right, I'm not.
Because you're
like
already filled up.
You're
all
so
those different
filled
programs.
Up. You're so filled up. But as your child, like it tells you, understand doctrine, then are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. So revert back to being a child again, so you can be able to receive it. So if I can talk to you, you can just open up, have an open mind. Don't be closed-minded. Close it off. A child, they're watching everything. They watch you, mom, dad do this. They're picking it up immediately, because they're open. But it can go in verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So with stammering lips and another tongue will I speak to this people. So precept must be upon precept. You must take like Isaiah 28 with precept of like 1 Peter 2 and 2.
Okay.
So then you go here to the Bible, you go here and precept it. And then you unlock what it's actually trying to tell you in this passage, and it'll go in further detail in this one.
Wow.
So then you use that precept. So then it says line upon a line. So sometimes you have to read the whole chapter. So sometimes to learn a little bit, Isaiah 28, I'll need to read this whole chapter line upon line to gather everything that's trying to tell me. So then you read it that way as well. Then it says here a little, there a little. So exactly say how I flip here, I'll flip there. I'll use a little bit this book, I use below this book. So you have to be able to go here, and there, because remember, this is just a Bible. All they put this together. King James had men put this together. And there was other scribes who put the records to words, but all these were on scrolls, and there was more records than this. Because you got to remember, even in 70 AD, when they ran this out, they burned a lot of everything. Like, we had knowledge of astronomy, knowledge of mathematics. Like, Abraham was even the one who even taught the Egyptians astronomy and mathematics and all the stuff they know. Abraham? When he went through, Abraham went and taught them that. And then, like, we had all this knowledge. Even when you go into Muhammad, who started Islam, he learned from all us. He learned from Israel. That's why the whole Torah is part of the Quran.
Because I remember you said the Egyptians, they're not from Shem.
Right. No, they're from Ham.
But you're saying people of Shem, like Abraham, taught people from Ham.
Right. Exactly. And because we went down.
You think they taught like other people as well?
Probably sure. Yeah.
Like other pyramids, like out in South America and.
Oh, probably that for sure. See the pyramids, that would be a whole different one.
You're right.
Yeah, but as far as the ancient knowledge, like I said, like arithmetic, all those things, we had that knowledge. And like I said, even with the Bible, it extends way beyond that. Like he said, I have all these connecting books, like even the Book of Jasher here. Like it tells you to go to the Book of Jasher in the Bible, but this isn't even part of the Bible.
Wow, it says it right there?
Yeah.
Dang.
But it says it to go to the Book of Jasher, so you have to get other books to get these. Because you got to remember, like Genesis and Deuteronomy, a lot of these things are a mad summary of like 2,000 years. So like it doesn't go into details, a lot of things you need to know about it. Like even Enoch in here, Enoch was translated and went to the heavens, but there's not much written about Enoch in this Bible at all.
Is that the one that they try to say like he was abducted?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What happened?
But he was translated. He was so righteous, the Most High took him, as well as he took Elijah. Like I said, there's only been 2 people to go from heaven, unless you count Christ, 3. But Elijah and Enoch went. But you have to go get the Book of Enoch to read his records that he left, because it's not even part of here. So they didn't even the Catholics.
Because he said he could see like the curvature of the earth or something. It said, I remember. That's what it said in Enoch. So like, what about like when it comes to like extraterrestrials? Like when people try to think like God is like this, like alien, if you will.
Well, he's like a body. He's a spirit. He's not an alien. And chariots and angelic beings flying back and forth all the time. Like even like I said, that's how you got the fallen angels that came here from the heavenly realm. And you would say they angelic beings. I mean, or UFOs, whatever the chariots that they go in. But all that is described into the in here too as well. Like the Wilt and the Will. So where they get the depiction of the chariot, the UFO, is all from chariots that the angels ride. And that description is in here in Ezekiel too as well.
Wow. It's crazy.
Right. So then, like I said, so that's to go about how you go into reading the Bible. Precept upon precept. You go line upon line, here a little, there a little. So you have to go a lot of places. Like I said,
cause see, I always thought there was just one book.
Oh no, it's a lot. They didn't even almost put Revelations or the Book of Jude in here either. They took out a lot. This is why they had to take out the Apocrypha. So it says this is from Joshua 10 and 13. And the sun stood still, and the moon stayed, and the people that avenged themselves upon their enemies. Is not this written in the book of Jasher? So the sun stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day. So it was going into the story, but it's more picked up on in Jasher. Okay. So we have to get the book of Jasher to unlock more information of what's telling us here.
And even on the cover of that book, it looks almost like a mummy or something. Let me see.
Yeah.
It looks like they're kind of doing like some kind of Egyptian kind of deal.
The Book of Jasher, the Book of Jubilees, like it's a lot of books that we can go to and get
who is
way more information.
Who's Jasper?
Jasher is not a person; it just means the upright one, so the righteous one. But it was recorded to be records. That was also around that time.
About the Shem people.
Well, yeah, about Shem too, and about Abraham, and it goes into details of a lot about the Torah. Like so, throughout Genesis and things, a lot of these stories about Abraham and stuff, it fills in a lot of information that we'd have. Because, like I said, it's really summarized throughout Genesis a lot, and throughout most of the Torah as well. But Genesis mainly, because we can go get a lot of information as well as actually happening during that time.
Gotcha.
And stuff like that. And so, but that's not here. But so here, going back to these curses here in Deuteronomy 28, that's affecting our people. But thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all day, and there shall be no might in thy hand. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed always, so that thou shalt be mad for the sight in thy eyes which thou shalt see. So all these things that we're seeing in the black community, it makes us upset. When we get the cops killing the black folks, when we get immigrants poured into our neighborhoods, when we understand like they're giving us the worst of the foods and stuff to eat, all these things makes us upset when we start following this over from slaves. But the Lord shall bring thee and a king which thou shalt set over thee, and the king can be president, king, mayor, all that, the ones that they call over prime ministers. That's all I want to say. Okay, prime ministers, presidents, kings, all these go into the same room. So the Lord shall bring thee in a king which thou shalt set over thee unto a nation which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, and there thou shalt serve other gods, lowercase, wood and stone. So that's key. That wood and stone that is talking about are the two major religions that are in the world today. The
cross and
the stone.
Islam.
Yep. The Kabbalah stone that's in Mecca, and then the cross that we already know famously used with Christianity. So those two will be the most powerful, and it tells us that he's going to bring us to a king which shall set over thee unto a nation which neither our fathers knew. Our fathers didn't know about being under the white man.
So how are they able to tell? Like because that's what book is that?
Deuteronomy.
How are they able to almost kind of predict the future? Was it because that's what was already happening? They saw this happen in the past before. How were they able to know that what was going to happen?
Well, that's where the Most High comes. That's how it's just a real book, divine, because things that were written thousands of years ago are happening that we can see.
And so, who wrote Deuteronomy?
Well, Deuteronomy was written by Moses. Moses read the first books of the Torah and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. And
which ones did he write?
And he got the Torah. So you got Numbers, Exodus, you got Genesis, and all that. Because he was up on the mount. He's up there for 40 days, 40 nights. He's up there for a long time. So he gave him a lot of things.
So he's talking to God for 40 days.
Yes, he gave him a lot of stuff. Like I said, we can go into the second address.
And Moses was from Shem?
Yes. Moses would be from the tribe of Levi. So if he was today, he would be a Haitian man. So the people from Haiti, they're from the tribe of Levi. And then the majority of them are where they're at. They're at Haiti on the island. But even them, like I said, we're scattered all four corners. But on this side of the earth, so we can put in context, Haitians are from the tribe of Levi.
Damn.
It's a common name throughout all the Haitians that they have, that it goes back to Levitical priests. But I can't even think of the name right now. But I'll get it to you. But I do want to show you this from second interest, though. So now about Moses. So then he said unto me, this is from second Esdras, chapter 14:3. So then he said unto me, in the bush I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him, and when my people served in Egypt. And I sent him and led my people out of Egypt, and brought him up to the Mount of Sinai, where I held him by me a long season, and told him many wondrous things, and showed him the secrets of the times and the end, and commanded him, saying, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
And that's God talking to Moses.
Yes, and he told him all these things. So he showed him the secrets of the times. He showed him all the many wondrous things, and commanded him, saying, certain things you shall declare to the people, other things you shall hide. So he's like, give the people the tablets, the 10 commandments. Give people a little bit of laws. Because he showed them the end. Remember, he says secrets of times and the end. So he showed them the end.
The end.
That's how he was able to write a prophetical book.
Did Moses write Revelations?
No. Revelation was written by John the Revelator. He got that vision on the island of Patmos, which is off of the islands like a Greek over there in the Mediterranean. And he was in jail then when he got that vision and wrote that. Revelation didn't come till after Christ.
So he was speaking to God. Right?
Yeah, yes. And he showed them, saying the secrets of times and all. It said, these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide. And so he hid a bunch of critical information and knowledge, critical. But like I said, everybody wasn't ready for that. Like we said, some people need the milk, and they're not ready for the meat. So give people the milk first. The milk is the 10 commandments. Some people can't even grasp the 10 commandments yet, and just the basic information I tell them before going in depth and tell them about the secrets of the time.
So where's the other information at?
the other information is, well, it's all these books that we had. A lot of it's been burnt up, and we still have a lot of the information in all these books that have already been published. Some throughout the 1800s that these people got their hands on. So we have some of the information, but a lot of it has been burnt too as well. Like I said, we had almost everything. But like, even from the Secrets of the Times and stuff, like he even told us that, for the world has lost its youth and the times begin to wax old. For the world is divided into 12 parts, and 10 parts of it are gone already, and half of the 10th part. And there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. So the world is divided, basically, he said, into 12 parts.
But it's like 10 of it's already gone?
Mm-hmm. At that time, the 10 parts of it gone. So 10,000 years of it was already gone. So basically, the Most High, 12 is a standard using of measurement for the Most High. He measures almost everything out in 12s. And that's how he calculated. He measured 12 tribes of Israel for the people he measured that out of 18 nations that he made. Even throughout the day, it's measured down into 2 parts of 12 hours of time. Mm-hmm. So you have 24 hours, but it's divided into 2 parts of 12. So 12 parts a day, 12 parts a night.
Right.
The year, you're divided into 12 months. That calculates a year.
Right.
So 12 months to a year, 12 hours to time, 12 tribes there. Even if we didn't have rulers and all these fancy standard measurement units, 12 inches for your foot you would use to measure. You can go across the room and say, oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 6 feet, whatever. You measure it by your foot.
Right.
You use that with 12s. They even tell you that in school, bro. It takes 12 years till you graduate high school, and then you can go do whatever. 12 years.
Wow.
So they even use that earthly, and they take it from heavenly.
Wow.
So with that being said, like I said, there is no 7.8 something billion years to this world. There's only been 12,000 years.
12,000.
And that's why Colin like Staten is a 10.
So 12,000, but because 6,000, I just can't believe. But like 12,000, there's like places like Göbekli Tepe, like that ancient place. I think it's in Turkey. It's like, it says like 10 to 11,000 years old.
12,000 years. If even that, they said that, but it's like, remember they said the world, God made the world in 7 days, right? But we know that 7 days, a day to the Most High is 1,000 years. So let me read that.
A day is how many years?
1,000 years. So it says, but beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years as is one day. So it says, be not ignorant about that. So when the Most High created everything, it didn't take actually 7 days. It took 6,000. And he rested on that 7,000 year. So the 6,000th mark was the year Adam came in. And Adam sinned, and it tells us, man, I did not bring that book. I'm so sorry. But that's where it tells us, from when Adam got kicked out of the garden, right. And he said, you will not be able to return back here until 5,500 years were complete. So that 5,500 years will be the time that we're living in now. Because you go back.
So that's what he said, 12,000, because 6,000 to take to make it, and then 6,000 to return.
Exactly. Because Christ is all, because time is all revolved. Because if we didn't believe in Christ, if he was nobody here, why would time be AD, Anno Domini, the year of our Lord, and why would before that be called BC, which means before Christ?
I thought AD meant after death.
They can say after death, but it means Anno Domini, which means the year of our Lord. That's because from then, that's when the time changed, when he came here and he died, and they started counting time after that. Because remember, BC just means before Christ.
So they weren't counting time back then?
They were counting time, but
were they counting down though?
Yeah, but it got split. So just
because that's why I never understood, why is it going down and then it starts up?
Right. Because it goes down, because it goes up, because we were counting backwards. And so like when we talk about history, we would count backwards that way. So that's where it would go. So when you go into BC time, there's about like 4,000 years of BC, 4,003, 3,002. So 4,000 years of BC.
What the Ice Age?
Time, huh?
What the Ice Age?
The Ice Age was at the beginning of creation. And like I said, I'll get into that real quick.
What would you say to somebody who thinks that the world is older than that? People who believe in science, or like, you look at carbon dates or like rocks.
Right. I mean, people can barely remember go back even 100 years, let alone the 7.8 billion years or something that they said is old. And like I said, yeah, you have to definitely. It's a long time. Like I said, you definitely have to prove that. Like in the ways you can prove that, you can, because it's theoretical. It's someone's theory. And that's usually what we always go off of, someone's theory, like theory of relativity from Einstein. All these things are theories. But like I said, we have concrete evidence of the dates that go back to us. But from being 12,000 years, like all that stuff can be plainly like calculated. There's an answer to everything. We just have to find it, you know?
Right. We just gotta find it.
We just have to find it. But,
so what do you think, like now, like what should we do now? Like if somebody's like tuning into this and they're starting to read the chapters of the Bible, they're starting to believe, you know, who they really are. Like the question is now what? You know, what do we do now as a people?
Right. Well, right now as a people, we do is we come back to these law, statute, commandments of why we've got here in the first place. Remember, so we talked about earlier why we were in punishment, because we got off from following the Most High. We provoked him to jealousy. So we weren't following the law, statutes. And going back to that, like that's what part of the curses was, is why we even in that situation in the first place. So coming back, we need to come back to where, let me get,
because I remember you said one time too, a while back, I think it was a couple of years ago, you said that there's more than just 10 commandments. But what are the other commandments?
Yes, there's more than 10. There's actually 600 and some odd commandments. But like I said, like, so even the commandment as far as going is like the dietary commandment. Like I said, thou shalt not eat pork, thou shalt not eat anything unclean.
Why did they put all the commandments in one? Like, because they just said the 10, but there's like, you said 600 commandments. So how can we find the other 590 commandments in the Bible, or are they just kind of scattered around like treasure? Or?
No, they're all in the law. So in the Torah, the commandments are all through that. Deuteronomy, Leviticus, and Numbers all have the laws of what we're supposed to be doing. So like I said, we just have to go back and reading these things.
But there's not nothing that just states it like one by one, or could we look it up, or even?
You could probably look it up. I'm sure they probably have something that just has it more comprehensive, you know, and just laid out in details where you would have to go actually to the book. But the book is where your number one source is where you're going to find them at. And like I said, for instance, like there's a law, like we're not supposed to intermingle fabric. So you're not supposed to have like polyester with cotton and things like that.
Oh,
like, you know,
I remember you told me that one time when they had the basketball shorts with the T-shirt.
Right, and that's just a small law. But here, that's when you can exercise grace, because we are in the land of our captivities, and where we do get our clothes from, there's a lot of mixed fabric and mixed linens like that. But that is just one law. Like I said, it's not in the 10 but you would find that in Leviticus. Like you can go to the law and find that. So, like I said, our people, we just have to go back into reading and getting on track with these laws. And if we start implementing these laws into our lives, we'll see it change tremendously. You'll see it change automatically.
What are some of the other laws that you think we should know that most people don't? Because most people, I mean, that's the second time I've heard of that one. You know, like what are some of the other laws that you know off the top that we should practice?
Right. Well, even just like, besides going into the deep laws, let's just like start at the 10. Like, you know, like even at the 10, like, you know, like how about we even just start going into the Sabbath and start actually celebrating the Sabbath? Because when we talk about it, and that's how it's a sign between us and the Most High, who he knows who's on his side. You know, he knows who's accounted for. He knows who's doing his law. Because when as above, so below. So when you're observing the Sabbath, you're on the schedule, and you're on accordance with the angels and with the heavenly realm and with the Most High himself. So you're all synced up.
Right.
So this is like what he, like I said, is the fourth commandment, which he told us to do, honor the Sabbath and keep it holy. So us just implementing that in our lives alone will bring change greatly. Because from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown is the Sabbath. So you can really just say Saturday. So if you don't buy, sell, do anything of your pleasures on this time,
dang, that's most people's days off.
Exactly.
A lot of people get in a lot of trouble on a Saturday.
And they do that on purpose. That's why, like a majority of the country, your paycheck is distributed to you on a Friday. So Friday, you get that paycheck, you ready to go. Friday night, spend, you ready. Saturday, that's when all the sales happen. That's when everything is going on. So that's when you're ready to go spend that money. All these things were orchestrated and designed to do this, to keep our people sinning and doing this.
Is there a reason why Saturday and not Sunday?
Well, Saturday, because Saturday would be like the 7th day of the week. Sunday is the first day of the week. And he said, I want you to celebrate on the 7th.
Because he rests on the last day.
Yes. And remember...
When did we switch it to like Sunday? But I guess that was the Council of Nicaea.
Council of Nicaea, exactly.
Why did he switch it to Sunday?
Exactly.
Was he a pagan?
Yes. And he wanted to implement sun worship and pagan worshiping through Christianity and through those laws. And so just like how we... let me go back to the den real quick.
So the Council of Nicaea was a guy named Nicaea?
And remember, we read, no, that's just where it was, the Nicaean Creed. But remember, when we had read in the Zondervan Bible Dictionary even about Christmas, that like Christmas didn't even pop up. It wasn't observed until it was made at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD. That's even written all the way in there. But when we go to Daniel 7, and I remember, we'll go here. 7, Daniel 7 and 23. Thus had he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth. So this one was more diverse than all the other governments that came before, because it used a little bit of all of them and intermingled it with its own. Mm-hmm. So the Roman Empire, which we said is the fourth, because it said this is the fourth beast and shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth. So the first was Babylon, second was the Persian Medes, third was the Greeks, and the fourth was the Romans. So this fourth beast that is talking about here on the kingdom, and we go a little bit down, it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. So this changing of the times and laws was done under the fourth kingdom, under the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire. And the Roman Empire and the governor that did that was Constantine.
Read that one again about the times.
Yes. And he shall speak, and I'm going to go up a little further so we got context. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom. And again, Daniel is expounding on each one of these kingdoms and these beasts. So he's giving us a prophetic vision of what's going to happen to us, or what's going to be happening later on down the world, later on down the line in the world. He's giving us a timeline. But he's telling us that he said, the fourth beast shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all the kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and tread it down and break it in pieces. And that is exactly what the Roman Empire did, because their hand is all over the earth. But they are running the world, the United Nations and everything. Everybody goes through the petrodollar. Everybody knows the United States is the king of the earth.
What do they say? The fall of Rome. Mm-hmm. When people say the fall of Rome, how is it the fall of Rome if Rome is still operating?
Right, because they had a temporarily fall where they did lose power and stuff, and they go down. And that was during, like I said, that Dark Ages when we came in and was ruling Europe. So that was, and then take it after that when their power began to come back. Mm-hmm. But so they only had just one temporary fall back there during like the 1400s, 1300s. Mm-hmm. That was their fall. And that's when the Roman Empire began to come back. And now, like we don't see so much as more as Rome and all that, but Florence, Italy, like I said, all these places are Rome. And Rome is ran by the papacy, which is the Pope that is in Italy. So he controls all that. The Vatican. And the Vatican has control over here what the United States does. Right. They pull the strings. Like I said, maybe it was the Vatican, and it was Rome and the Rothschilds during the Balfour Declaration who bought the land of Israel right now and all that area around Palestine as well, too. And that's why they put their Jews there, and they named it the State of Israel in 1948. So then when we go back, remember, to this fourth beast, and that's the Roman Empire, we go to Constantine when it says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, which is the saints are the Israelites, of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. So that changing of thinking to change times and laws, going from the Julian calendar, which Julius Caesar orchestrated, going into the Gregorian calendar from Pope Gregory. So they changed the calendars of why we're getting off of our 12,000 years and the dates, and they've also changed the laws of implementing, like I said, Christmas, Easter, all this other bullcrap that we never did.
I also heard like there was only like 10 months, and like months like July and August were because of Julius Caesar. For July, August, and his son Augustine or something.
Mm-hmm. There's 12 months, but they renamed the months to match them. Like January is after the Janus, the god of Janus from Roman Empire. Augustus, like you said, you're right, Julius Augustus. So all these months were named after them. So that's where it goes into the changing of the times and the laws. They got control of the world. So whatever goes out, they put into the world, it's king. It's what they say, and that's why we read earlier about them going into painting their images into our scriptures, painting the likeness of their selves for our records. So when you go look up John the Baptist, you look up Christ, you look up all these people who are our people in the scriptures, they are portrayed as white men because they were painted during the time of the Renaissance of the Rome.
Dang, because the Medici's funded it.
Because the Medici funded that, and they were big time behind that. And like I said, just there's so much more there we can go into, but like I said, I would advise all of our guests or like listeners and stuff to start at Deuteronomy 28 with some of the curses. And like we had already went over Deuteronomy 28:36, the Lord shall bring thee and thy king which thou shalt set over thee into a nation which neither nor their fathers have known, and thou shalt set over the gods of wood and stone. So that's that Christianity that was implemented and given to us during slavery, and that was came down from Constantine. And the stone was also going to our people, but it was from Islam, because even believe it or not, Rome, the Catholic Church, actually set up Muhammad and actually set up Islam too for that. They set up both of them.
Really?
They set up both of them, and that's why you said the two major religions are already written of under the curses that we will be under. And our two people, like you said,
so they created it. Islam and for what benefit?
Both of them, to keep our people confused, keep everybody down low. They wanted to mix in all those ideologies, but they just didn't want us. They knew the best way to do it was to put a little bit of truth in there, but sprinkle most of pagan. Sprinkle truth, but mostly pagan. Paganism.
So where does paganism come from?
Paganism comes basically like paganism has been coming, but it came from even Solomon's temple. Because after Solomon worship, that's even kind of where the Masonic temple, the Masonic springs came from and all that, because he got to worshiping and doing all kind of other different gods and goddesses. And they took all those practices from Solomon's temple and put them all out. Just like, and put them all out and merged them into other different ideologies and other different religions and things like that. But paganism is just more so it's just worshiping of the sun and just worshiping of devil entities.
So is paganism connected with Satanism?
Yes, sir. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because pagans are Satanists. So that's why when you if you can go
Really?
Google stuff, paganism, they are the Satanists, and then we already know and
Pagans
that's even before getting into the root of where all these holidays come from. But if pagans set up these holidays and stuff and no one's rooting them, then we can only put two together that these holidays that we're doing are satanic.
That's crazy, because the Christmas tree is a pagan.
Exactly.
So then,
and the Christmas tree is even written about in the Bible as well. How bad it is. Let's go to that real quick.
We gotta talk. Yeah, let's look at this.
Jeremiah 10.
So I didn't realize that paganism was I heard it's kind of like witchcraft, but I didn't realize that you're saying paganism is also pretty much like a subgenre, if you will, of Satanism.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Exactly.
That's crazy.
Yes, sir. And then we'll go Jeremiah 10, and it says, "Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen." And the heathen, you can just substitute that word for pagan. They're interchangeable. So thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the pagan, and be not dismayed at their signs of heaven, for the pagans are dismayed at them. For the customs of their people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen, with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must not needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither is it them to do good.
The pagans can't do evil or good.
No, they're talking about the tree. The tree can't do evil or good, but the tree, the customs of it is vanity. Because they put that tree up there and celebrate of Tammuz.
So hold up. So you said pagans,
pagans just devil worshippers. So you can say that, just anywhere you see all that stuff going on in the country, the world.
The Statue of Liberty?
Those are pagans, yes. Statue of Liberty is after Semiramis. So it's Astarte. And she's the one.
Starbucks.
Yes. The lady that's on Starbucks. And that's Semiramis. Semiramis is the lady who celebrated on Easter, the goddess of fertility. And that's why they have the Easter bunny. That's why everybody always question but bunnies don't lay eggs. Bunnies don't lay eggs, so where does that come from? But the whole tale of it is because
bunnies don't lay eggs.
They don't lay eggs.
What?
They don't. And that's why I'm saying
bunnies don't lay eggs.
They don't lay eggs. So it's how do we get this in Easter and then the resurrection of Christ? How does all this? What does this have to do with this? Why we do Easter egg hunts in the churches and stuff? But that bunny that's on Easter, that's in your Christian church, is the same bunny that's on Hugh Hefner, the Playboy bunny. It's the same one.
For fertility.
Fertility. Bunnies, they get it on. And they get it on. And that's what that symbolism is.
So the egg has nothing to do. The egg represents fertility.
The egg represents they said that Nimrod he died. And his spirit went up in heaven, he turned into the sun, whatever. And they were saying that Semiramis, which is Astarte, where you get the name Easter from, she was supposedly pregnant by immaculate deception from the sun, and that's how she birthed Tammuz. So that's where your whole immaculate conception, all that stuff comes from. So that's why they worship the Mother Mary, the goddess, Madonna. All these things come from Semiramis.
But hold up, so then how does that fit in when it comes to Jesus?
It doesn't. That's what I mean. None of it has to do with Christ Jesus at all.
So,
Like,
so
what I
Jesus,
mean,
Jesus
like,
wasn't born by immaculate. What's it called?
no. All that immaculate conception was no.
He wasn't.
No.
How was
He was born through the sperm. He had to come through the seed of us. He wanted to be born just like us, so we had no excuses on being in this life and not being able to sin because he did it. He wanted to come through a woman, and that Joseph was his dad. He had to have been from the seed and lineage of Judah. He had to have a father.
So then, how do you tell that to somebody who believes that Jesus came from God? I mean, he did, but he didn't.
Right.
He was born
Right.
like the regular way.
Right. He was born the regular way. And also, too, in that the dictionary I told you about, the immaculate, I won't say with a conception, but virgin, people misquote
Immaculate
the word
conception?
virgin and immaculate conception because they think virgin, and which we know it to be in our time, is just a woman that never had sex, right? But back in the day, it's of a young damsel of an unmarried woman. She hasn't been married or she hasn't been spousing anybody. They have to call her a virgin. But in our ways and of our rules, that you cannot present a woman that you had sex with before marriage, or they would kill her back in that time. So and Joseph was a man, he did everything right, and he did not want to portray Mary in that way because it would get her killed under the Hebrew law.
Because she had sex before marriage?
Well, they didn't have before the consummation that they were together. But it wasn't just the fact they were married because they were together. That's how you consummate a marriage, is by having sex. Mm-hmm. Like back in that time, you would come out with the towel after you having the marriage, and you would sing a token of her virginity because she would bleed, mm-hmm. basically popping a cherry, But mm-hmm. if she didn't do that, then she's been having sex with some other people, so she's not clean. Mm. And so they didn't want to make Mary an example of that. And so he wanted to put Mary back. But the seed had to come from Joseph. It had to come from his dad because he came through the lineage of David. Mm. He had to. And like I said, the immaculate conception, that point started all the way back from Babylon, which we talked about earlier. And that's where the whole immaculate conception thing came from. And they used that, and they put that in so many different religions, and used that same little course over and over and over again.
Wow, that's crazy.
But it was not. Yeah, it wasn't that.
And so this is the part I get confused because obviously, like the Hebrew Israelites, I don't know if that's the right way to address it.
Well, yeah.
What is it, Hebrew and then Israelite?
Well, Hebrew is the language. Israelite is just your nation, who you are. So it's just like saying if you're a Chinese man, you're them. We're just Hebrew. It's like it's not we want to be called anything. It's just what we are. So it's like
Hebrew is a nation.
Yeah, Hebrew is a nation like the tongue we speak. So Hebrew is a language. So you speak in Hebrew, but you are Hebrew.
It's like saying Spanish, Mexican.
Mm-hmm. But Israelite, that is actually your nation of who you are. Mm-hmm. Like I said, there's no color, black, white, African American, all this stuff. Like everybody has nationalities, but they scrambled that up because I read that in Psalms 83, they didn't want us to remember who we were. They wanted to take the name of Israel away from us, from the curses. That and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. So he's saying that we become an astonishment. So we become an astonishment in ways because, like I said, he made us above all people. So here being an astonishment, you're entertainment. We're rappers, we're dancers, we're basketball players, we're athletes, football players, actors. We do all the best. They were like, oh, yeah, you can put a nigga there, let him entertain us. That's it. Just be an astonishment. Man, that nigga can jump. Damn, he can fly. They took the white man created basketball. We take it over. They created football. We take it over. We the best. The NFL 70% black folks.
Wow.
So astonishment. Astonishment.
Does it say that? Can you read something on there that says?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. And it's saying among all nations. So he's led us under. We're captive. We're over here under the white man because we can say our personal experience because we're here. But there's been the trans-Arabian slave trade where our people are in different parts of Arabia. The Chinese, they bought us as slaves. The Kujak, the Kuching, I'm mispronouncing that name, but those are black folks that they call us over there. We're scattered throughout Africa. We're in Russia. We're in Europe. We're everywhere. But throughout where the Lord shall lead thee, we're going to be a proverb and a byword. So a proverb is being called something outside your name, and a byword is too. A byword is calling you black, calling you nigga, porch monkey. All these other terms that they use to address us, but instead of our God-given nationality name, which is Israel. So they're going to call you African American. Just a country where they picked you up from and where they dropped you off.
A country where they picked you up from where they dropped you off.
African American. Then before that, it was Afro American. Just because you had the Afro American.
Wow.
They changed all these names because it said you will become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither I should lead thee. There's going to keep going. So the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. That's why we're on the bottom of the totem pole. That's why the white man's at the top. The Chinese man's at the top. Even some of the African men's are at the top. Russia, all these nations are at the top. Everybody has a stake at the table, United Nations table. When they go to these summits, who's representing black folks?
Yeah.
We don't have a say at nothing when it comes to the world stage. But yet we're getting used every which way.
And you feel like, why is that?
Because of these curses that the Most High put us under. Because we read earlier.
Why would he do that too?
Because we made him jealous. Let's go back to it, man. Remember.
We made him jealous by
serving other gods.
Yeah.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange gods. With the abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils. So he's watching us do all this Christmas, Easter, all this stuff. That's making sacrifices to devils. You're sacrificing the devil. He didn't ever ordain any of that stuff. But yet our people are all disillusioned and following, doing all this stuff that the white man gave us. He gave us all this stuff. We didn't do this stuff.
So why do they get to be able to do that and they have all these riches?
Because they're supposed to. I'm going to read that to you too. They're supposed to have all these riches because that was to make us jealous. That's why the Most High he turned it on us. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid. Rather through their fall, salvation is coming to the Gentiles, which is outside nation, for to provoke them to jealousy. So salvation came to the Gentile to make us jealous. I'm going to continue reading. Now the fall of them be the riches of the world, and the diminishing of them the riches of the Gentiles, how much more their fullness? The fall of us came and gave them riches. Because remember, they came and took all of our gold, all the silver, everything out of our temples, out of Israel in 70 AD. They used that to grandize themselves. That was basically like a startup loan. But it wasn't even a loan because ain't no loan.
Dang.
But they took all that stuff, and that's how they grandized themselves to be rich. And because of that, they became to be more rich. And then this country, we built this country for them. That's what people have to understand. If you have 400 years of selling free labor, I have a business now, you have a business now. If we have 10 employees that we didn't pay nothing, do you know how rich I would get?
Right.
Do you know how rich you would be?
Right.
Labor is the most cost-efficient thing to any business, any company. And if you didn't have to pay, you got all these people working for you, doing all this work, and you don't have to pay them a dime,
dang,
you're going to be sitting pretty. You're going to be sitting pretty.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they're sitting pretty now, because we can go here, and this is a part of the curses again, too. But another part of the curses here is that Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother. So we have the number black on black crime as high as it ever been. We hardly get unity. Our streets, all they want to do is gang bang and fight against each other. Ops. Because there was a spirit on us for that. His eye shall be evil toward his brother.
Why?
This was a spirit that was already put on us.
When will it stop?
It's about to. These curses are almost over, bro. These curses are almost over. And his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Ooh. Who's leading the world right now in fatherless homes, Chris? What nation? And it ain't even close. It's only been 2 of my friends that have had their dads in their lives out of all my friend circle. And it's funny because both of them's last name was Joneses. You, Brandon, Chris Jones, and Brandon Jones. Right. Everybody else's father couldn't be found.
Wow.
I don't even know my dad.
Right.
Let's read that again. And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. What other nation is fathers is leaving their children at an exponential rate more than ours?
Right.
None. And this is under curses. That's what I'm saying. We can match these up with our community, and it just checks all the boxes.
So then it's all prophecy.
All prophecy.
But they predicted it. And who wrote this? Moses.
This was Moses. This was Deuteronomy. Yep.
He wrote that when he was on the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So God was telling him, hey, this is what the future is going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote everything down.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And so,
And remember, we can go down.
do you feel like people can prophesize now, today?
Yeah.
Is God
Most High,
talking
Most High will definitely put visions, insight, and people to prophesy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's how he locks in with you, because he got people that's waking. He's waking his people up all over the place right now, all over. That's why, and he's going to put prophets and visions and different ones that's going to be able to tell the rest of them. That's all in accordance. What to do next? What's coming up? Where we should go? Because we're all going back to the wilderness, just as that we escaped Egypt. Remember I read you from that there's nothing new under the sun. So he's going to do the same thing how we left under Egypt and left that, went to the wilderness. We're leaving here and going to go to the wilderness again. But it's going to be even on a grander scale, something like the world has never seen before, though.
What do you think you could tell the listeners tuning in, like, how to prepare? Like, what's the best thing they can do to prepare?
To prepare right now is to prepare, like I said, is to come back to these law, statutes, commandments, and know what you are. Get back into Scripture. Get back to following just even the 10 commandments. And then after that, you can get into the more meat and get to understanding more depth into the Bible of the other commandments that we're supposed to do. But just come back to your power right now and to put down sin. That's one of the main things. That's what got our people in trouble for the sin.
The sin.
Sin.
What about like the people like as far as who are not from the tribe of Judah? Like, what should they do? Is it?
Well, there was other nations that also followed us out of Egypt too, and there's also going to be other nations with us here, because let me read this to you. This is from Zechariah chapter 8 and 22. Yeah, many people and strong nations shall come to seek the Lord of hosts in Jerusalem and to pray before the Most High. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, in those days it shall come to pass that 10 men shall take hold out of all languages and nations, even shall take hold of the skirt of him that is a Jew, saying, we will go with you, for we heard that God is with you. So God is only going to be with us at the end. And all these people scrambling, seeing all this chaos is going to be going around the world, they're going to be grabbing on our skirts and basically tugging, saying, we want to go with you. God is with you and nowhere else. So all these other nations will cleave to us. But some of these other nations, like Esau and stuff, they're going to have to be captives because we were their captives. And they will be going into captivity.
Wow.
If any man, this is from Revelations, back into the chapter, into the book. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So all these people that left us in captivity will be right back into captivity. Dang. But we're not going to be treating them like how they treated us. It's going to be whole world of difference. They probably love their jobs. It's going to be like Butler, like Jeffrey on Fresh Prince.
That's what they'll be doing.
A lot of them will be doing, because they'll be administering to us. Because you have to remember.
You feel like it's because even like they said, like Nigeria has like the most population now. Do you feel like a lot of it's going to be because of their race is going to die off?
Well, a lot of them will be, sure, yes. Like a lot of Esau and stuff. And this country is not even going to be standing after the missiles and stuff hit it. It's already been prophesied that this place is going down. This guy's going to just be nothing but brimstone. It's just dust and stuff. People won't even be able to inhabit this place anymore.
So where does it say that in the Bible?
That nukes and stuff is going to hit it?
Right.
Oh yeah, it's all over. All over.
So then why are we still here? We got to get out of here.
We do. But we will. We definitely have to get out of here. Let's see. Let's go to Revelation 18. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen and become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, be not partakers of her sin, that you receive not of her plagues. So that is, I just want to go there quick, because that is the way we come out of Babylon, is by not being partakers of her sins that she has want everybody to do. They set up strip clubs. They set up go and eat pork. They set up worship on Sundays, doing all these things. All this wickedness, bro, from here that we can go and get into and do. Just even weed. Okay, yeah, smoking weed, but at the same time, smoking weed is the same. We're not supposed to be smoking it. We can ingest it. I just eat it because it was here for medicine. Plants are here for medicinal uses. But you see here, they set up dispensaries everywhere.
Yeah.
for you just to go freely get it and do it. But that's a ways that we can come out of sins and receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities. Remember her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works. And the cup which she hath filled her double. So how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she hath said in her heart, I sit a queen, am in no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord God who judgeth her. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. Standing afar off for the fear of the torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for 1 hour is thy judgment come.
So that's talking about
Here,
right.
Babylon. Because this is a revelation. We're not talking about modern day Babylon, because that's already gone. Because Babylon here, this is the daughter of Babylon. But it's, man, see, we haven't even really got into Esau, Edom yet to understand why we call it the daughter of Babylon. But it says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom, and Edom is Esau, who's the white man today. And the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, and raise it, R-A-S-E, means to destroy. So raise it, even to the foundation thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. So it's called him Edom, the daughter of Babylon, because the way they took everything that Babylon did.
Edom is the daughter of Babylon?
Edom, yes, and Edom is the white man. But they're calling Edom the daughter of Babylon because basically
I
they're saying the
Esau.
son. Huh?
Esau.
Yeah, Esau, Edom. They're the same people.
Okay, same.
Yeah. Esau.
Like
Edom is named, but Edom, and then, Esau, as they call him, yeah. But Edom is like the nation, but Esau is like that. He was actually the person that birthed these people. And that's why he came out all
but
red.
The nation is Edom.
Yes, yeah.
And Edom is the daughter of Babylon.
Yes.
So then, why is it not just the nation of Babylon?
Well, because they took all the idolatry principles of Babylon. That's why they're calling you the daughter of Babylon, like you're Babylon Junior, basically.
Babylon Junior.
Yeah, basically. But they're saying the daughter of Babylon, but you're Babylon Junior.
Gotcha.
Because you're taking all the ideologies and everything and merging them into yourself, and you're still following those practices to this day. And that's why you're called daughter of Babylon, because the United States is the best kingdom, the biggest, the richest. Everybody listens to them. They the big bag bully on the block. You got a problem, they coming in.
So Babylon was ran by like paganism?
Yes, sir. And that's who Edom and Esau is. And then that's why when we, like I said, we probably got enough time now, but when we go into Edom and Esau, and that's how you break them down, and then you could see all the major players in the Bible.
Yeah,
you can start putting faces to these names in here.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that on the next episode, man.
A lot of faces.
We're gonna give the viewers a little bit to digest, because man, there's so much information to kind of tie in. But
There's so much.
What would you say, like in closing, like one thing you would say to somebody who is struggling to, believe who they are? Like, what could be something? What should they do? What should they do to remember? Right.
Well, right here, we talking to black people, remember who we are. Let's just start here, because we all know slavery train. We came up here off slave ships, right? Majority of the black people. Now we can go into history and talk about when the Native Americans were here. There was a couple of black folks here with us. Yes, they're intermingled and entwined there. But let's just talk about how we got here first. So we know that we came off slave ships, right? So let's go to the curses. And what our listeners have to do is go and get the information before the slave ships, because they cut it off from us. At the slave ships, they give us history: Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet Tubman.
Right.
That's it. What about before them slave ships, though? Now we go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt. Now we can just substitute that word for bondage, right? So, and the Most High shall bring thee into bondage again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again. Bro, like 90% of our people hasn't seen Israel. You can probably even say 96. There's a few small prince that's traveled now. We can leave and, went out places. Josh's sisters went there, but we ain't thinking about Israel, bro.
Right.
Thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen. So as soon as you get off those ships, you're going to be sold for bondmen and bondwomen. Sold to the Joneses. down in Kentucky, sold to the Williams of South Carolina, sold to the Smiths.
Wow.
Sold to all these.
So it's really connecting the dots to the modern time.
To modern time. To modern time. It tells us right here that we would be brought into bondage with ships. So you use that starter, it
and
all connects.
Where is that at?
This is part of the curses with Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Dang.
And it told us that we would be sold for bondmen and bondwomen. And then we got into that 400 years of free labor, what they be doing. And then that was already prophesied even from Abraham was told us that. Because nothing was new was going to be under the sun, bro. But this came in Genesis. And the Most High said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs. This ain't our land. We don't even care about this land. Our land is Israel. And it is not theirs. And shall serve them, and they shall afflict them for 400 years. Genesis 15 and 13. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge. And afterwards they shall come out with great substance. So the Most High is going to judge this land. He's going to judge the people who control this land. The white man, Esau, for when we came over here for 400 years. 400.
Wow.
Now, we can go back. We can go see the first indentured slave. Anybody can go Google that. August 17, 1619 was the first indentured slave that came over on the ships that was not let free. You had indentured servitude. So if I was indentured slave to you, or I would basically, so if I had a debt of $500 to you, I would be a slave to you until I worked off my $500. Then you would let me go free. That's cut off. So August 17, 1619. So if you just take on your calculator 1619. So if you just take on your calculator 1619, and then you add 400 years to that,
okay,
what you get? 2019.
Right before COVID.
Right. That's why COVID was so important. People don't know. They don't know. That's why that 400 years was great.
The
2019.
Years? That's crazy.
It is. And I was going to read that also from Ecclesiastes 1:18. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increases knowledge increases sorrow. So the more that you know of this truth, you're going to have a little bit more sorrow that comes with it, because you're seeing, you're taking the veils off your eyes. You're seeing the world for what it is. It's like the Matrix. Exactly. It's the Matrix, and it's not like you taking that red pill, and it's like you taking that red pill. It's not. Some of the things aren't really good. What you're gonna see, But hey, that's what the truth is. Sometimes
they called it Zion at the end of the Matrix.
Exactly. And the woman who wrote that was a black woman, and she got it. Her story from the Bible. She already said that.
Wow.
She got the whole premises from the Bible.
That's crazy, man.
And I was saying, you take that red pill and you wake up, and it's everything you see and all this stuff is man.
Man. Well, I appreciate you coming through, man. It's been a really good talk, man. I've learned a lot. I've always learned a lot when I talk to you, man. So it's we'll definitely have to come back and do a second episode, because there's so much to unpack and to uncover, man. So if you guys want to be able to see a second episode, comment below. Let us know you want to see that second episode. We're gonna put it together. But we're gonna sign off, man. And it's been real, man. Once again, fully connected.
Hey, appreciate you having me.
Mr. Brandon Kendall in the building, man. So until then, next time, peace.
Peace.
Fully connected.